Oh, jeez. Yeah.
Yeah, we kept delaying.
Long, yeah. Well, one of them was for an April Fool's thing, so yeah.
Yeah.
And the other was because half our team was missing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Now only Elise is missing. Oh wow. Still most of us
Yeah,
are.
surprisingly the third time in a row, which is quite surprising there.
She's getting a real life. She has no time for us anymore.
Yeah.
She's starting a career and a family.
Too busy being a famous author, yeah.
There you go. Alright, we should be live.
Yep. Hold on, gotta do the jingle.
Dissected Alive.
There we
Don't
go.
forget that.
Hey, feels like it's been ages since we played that.
Yeah.
It's been 84 years since we last
It's
played that.
84 years!
But even if Elise is missing, Timba is making an appearance again. Hi, Timba.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm doing fine and dandy. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
I do.
Now, getting
Although you're just looking very tired on the top corner, the way Roger drew you, just like, ugh.
My unimpressed face.
She ate all the chicken and she wants more.
How could they run out? They knew I was coming.
It's based on her drawing that she based on the drawing Euan made for Elise not being amused. So it's based on a base on a base on a.
It's
It's
Timba,
nice.
not
On a
me.
beast, on a beast, on a beast.
But she's not amused now.
Biggity buck bumble.
And yeah, Luke, you drew yourself as a Goomba. Was that for meant to be for last time? Or are
Yeah,
you
because I didn't get to be a Mayo enemy in the last stream because I was celebrating my dad's 71st birthday, and also tomorrow I'm going up to London for the Switch 2 experience because I was one of the lucky few people to win the raffle.
Nice, congrats. So you're really in a Mario mood, huh? And you drew yourself as a
I
Goomba. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I might try to play a bit of Mario Kart World and that.
Nice. Oh, enjoy that. But why did you draw yourself as a Goomba, not as Golden Bob? He already looks perfectly like you. Darn it.
Oh, a bomb, yeah. Well, a Goomba is probably one of the first things that pops into my head, and I don't know. I think because I had Lonely Goomba in my mind, because he's British as well, I guess.
Fair
Ah,
enough.
yeah, good old Lonely Goomba, yeah.
Yeah, I think he's probably up
I'm
north.
Maluki Goomba.
Stuck between two pipes.
Well, I guess I'll play this game boy for the rest of my life.
Shout out to Lonely Goomba.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
I still
time.
find it amusing that in the thumbnail, like, oh yeah, Luke is the Goomba, and Roger has like this angry, like pointing look. You know, it's like, ah, traitor!
I did it on purpose. We're not doing Mario anymore, you Salan. Luke, what are you doing? That was last week.
How did I get dragged into this, by the way? I had nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
Because your Captain Fury always hurts Luke, and he's dressed as a Goomba, so you have to be Mario. That's why you look so tempting,
Okay,
and
you know
Luke, you want to jump on him.
Yeah, that's
the
fair enough.
urge. The urge is overwhelming.
Oh yeah, and as Sylvia points out, oh, where's Euan in the thumbnail?
Ah!
Where's Euan in the frame?
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Ewan's gonna kill me. I'm sorry.
I'm
Cello.
invisible! Yay!
Yeah, maybe Euan was actually a Koopa, and Sala already killed him.
I guess
So now
I'll
Luke is next.
Oh, great.
guess I have to draw Ewan live, yelling at me. Why not?
As well as Roger basically just pointing out, like, the name of today's stream. It's
Dissected.
not
yeah, this
Dissected
is
Alive
Dissected
90.
Alive.
It's Dissected Alive 90.
Yeah, 10 more episodes before we reach our new 10 more episodes before we reach our new milestone.
Woo!
Yeah, almost there.
Yay.
Yeah.
100.
We don't have any special plans for it at the moment, but we have plenty of time to think about it.
Yep, so expect to hear one of us having the most lowest of qualities, which is a milestone tradition at this point.
Oh yeah.
Probably me. Right, so you're looking forward to the Switch 2?
Yeah, absolutely.
Including the price?
Not so absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know. This feels more like I don't know, the whole Switch 2 thing kind of feels more like a combination of the Wii U and the infamous PS3 launch with the whole $599 bit. But yeah, I don't know.
I was really surprised they took that boring name, because usually that's like a development name, like, or Switch 2, like, as if that's technically what it is, but we could give it like a real name later. Like,
Oh yeah, because
Yeah.
like, yeah, back then people thought like, oh, the next sounds is gonna be like the Wii 2 or something, but like, no, it's the Wii U, you know. something
exactly,
else.
like that's just a hypothetical name, but I know it's like actually Switch 2. Like, this is the first console that just has a literal sequel name, doesn't it?
For Nintendo, yeah.
Well, yeah.
Well, wait, PlayStation, right? Sorry, I forgot about
Yeah.
PlayStation. So I guess they're doing the PlayStation thing now.
Either that, or they basically have to save their budget and just basically with their marketing team, they only give them like £10 to come up with a new name, and they're like, okay, here, Switch 2, that'll do, ship it.
Well, let's
It
just
would have
hope the
been
Switch-
really exciting, and it would have been really exciting and a big thing to look forward to. But the price, no.
Ah,
Yeah.
Well, let's
Yeah.
just hope the Switch 2 actually has a good amount of exclusive games, unlike the PS5, which has no games.
Awkward.
Well, I think they do at least.
Oh yeah, I think like Astro Bot. I think that's one
Yeah.
exclusive game, but like
Th-
yeah,
that-
that's like
That's the funny joke, is that like PS5 has one game of the year.
yeah, it's one game and everything else you can get on anything. So yeah, that's kind of the reason why I haven't really been keeping up with modern games. It's like yeah, there's just been a lack of any exclusive games that have really caught my interest. And the other thing that's been really pissing me off is how companies, at least AAA companies, are really pushing with the whole live service gaming to become more of the norm. And it's like, whatever happened to the days we had to put in the effort to, unlock skins and everything? It's like, no, you have to constantly pay for everything and all this shit. So I'm pretty much not looking forward to Sonic Rumble, which just feels like it has that kind of similar thing, but I don't know.
But
Back in my day.
You did enjoy the
back in
crash
my day.
kart racing. You did enjoy the crash car racing. That was the same.
Well, there's a big difference there, because in that game, like, sure, there was, like, microtransactions, but that was purely optional. You could still unlock everything in-game when you put in the hours and whatnot. Everything
Yeah.
else after that is purely, no, you gotta spend real money to unlock everything. There's no turnaround or farming to do it.
That sucks. Anyway, I heard that they're working on a new Spyro game at Toys for Bob's, so that's good.
Yeah.
Oh, this
Well,
is
I've
news
heard
to me.
rumors. Well, I've heard rumors about it. I don't know if it's true. I know
Yeah, there are
recently they said that they would love to do Banjo-Kazooie, which I'm definitely
Yeah.
all for Toys for Bob doing a new Banjo game. But yeah,
Yeah.
poor guy really needs some love, and not just, porting the 2 games onto the Switch and whatnot. It's like, after a while, the ports are like, when are we gonna get a new game? There's only so much you can do with constantly porting the game over and over again.
It'll just
Tell
become
that
like,
to The Last of Us. Oh!
yeah.
I haven't played The Last of Us, so I don't know.
Oh no, it's just because it just got announced for another re-release.
It's becoming the new Skyrim.
Yeah.
Oh boy,
At full price, probably.
probably. Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, at this point, I've just been playing a lot of emulated games. Mostly like older stuff to try to catch up on things. In fact, I've been playing, recent game I've been playing is Frogger's Journey, The Forgotten Relic. And it's kind of interesting. It's in that weird point with the Frogger franchise. It's like, okay, we're going to turn this into like a, make Frogger more anthropomorphic and try to make him more like a platformer like like what everyone else is doing. And so, yeah, it's kind of weird. Like, the first one was, The Great Journey. That was kind of the weird starting point. But over time, they kind of got a little better, just going back to, what made Frogger simple, with the jumping across things. So, I'm digging Forgotten Relic. It's an interesting concept. It has some of that classic gameplay like before. Just it has more, like, world building to it in some ways. And I like the character design. They're really cute, especially Leona.
So,
She's so precious.
so it's basically Pac-Man World, but then for Frogger. All right.
Yeah, kind of like that. Only difference is that Pac-Man World is like a well-beloved 3D platformer, while Frogger's Time is pretty much forgotten.
Poor guy. Oh well,
which
3D platform.
naturally attracted Melty like a magnet.
Well, of course, 3D platformers is what I grew up on. The days of Crash, Spyro, and Banjo-Kazooie. My holy trinity of 3D platformers.
I like it more when they have more interesting concepts with the levels, like Psychonauts or Mega Man Legends, when it's more like an RPG world-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Banjo-Kazooie and all is a little too generic for me. Oh look, it's the grass level. Oh look, it's the ice level. Boring. Do something interesting. But that's
You don't
me.
like the grassy hill level?
What, Krusty Hill?
You don't like the grassy hill level?
If that's
Yeah.
all you do, then yeah. I mean, I'm fine with it occasionally popping up, but I kind of like when you do more interesting stuff, more creative stuff.
At least the sequel had more interesting themes. Like there was like a carnival level and an industrial level. Only downside is that they kind of get a little too carried away with making the levels too big. So, yeah, it's kind of why I prefer if you want to play Banjo-Tooie, then make sure it's the original, just to unlock that fast banjo cheat. Because if you do it in any of the other recent ports, then it does that whole thing like, oh, if you type in the quote-unquote illegal cheats, then they're gonna deactivate the save feature.
What I do love about the old Rareware games for Nintendo 64 is they have awesome art style and the textures, especially with the Mickey Speedway and some of the Banjo levels. I really love their art style. It's not apparent all the time, but some levels that their art style pops up. Like in the first Banjo-Kazooie, I love the docks level, the harbor.
I like Rusty Bucket Bay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Which is often considered the least popular level in the game.
in terms of gameplay, I understand, yes, but I am purely talking about the aesthetics. So not the level design, no. But really, that's the most unpopular? I hated the winter forest level because you keep falling down and have to climb back
Yeah,
up.
like people really don't like Rusty Bucket Bay, and it's mostly due to the whole engine room, where
Oh,
when you're
God.
trying to collect 100 nodes, and like, oh yeah, there's 4, we have to, press a button to try and slow down the fans, and you got to be very, very specific with timing the jumps to get past it, because otherwise you're gonna fall to your doom and die, and you have to start over. Unless you're
one
playing the
jig-
Xbox. Yeah, unless
one
you're playing the
jig-
Xbox version.
One jiggy mission I hated was Mr. Vile in Bubble Gloop Swamp, where you have to
Oh,
eat more
man.
of those twig. And also, he was a bit of an asshole as well.
Yeah, he was a real asshole. And yeah, I really hated that level as a kid. It's like now it's like yeah, I've gotten better, but doesn't excuse the fact of all the pain and trauma I had to deal with that asshole. Like
Yeah.
especially in the third phase where you have to get like the running shoes to actually beat him to get that jiggy.
Yeah.
Right, so, yeah, anything else you want to talk about? We'll switch to...
But how about some actual Sonic stuff? Like I don't know, Sonic Rumble getting a release date after being delayed for like 27 times already.
Ah, yes, Sonic Fall Guys.
Yep, Sonic Fall Guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate the art style. I played it a bit. I mean, the level, the gameplay is kind of fun, but I really hate competitive gaming, so I don't think I'm really into this stuff.
Yeah.
Reaching for the stars tonight, Sega.
I don't know. It looks kind of interesting. I've seen some of the exclusive costumes that the characters have, but other than that, the game just screams live service gaming, and I'm just so tired of that shit. Yeah.
Yep.
Fair enough.
Yeah, the competitive nature is definitely what got me uninterested in the actual Fall Guys. I gave it a few tries because, God, they were like targeting me with some of these crossover skins. They're like, you want Scout from Team Fortress 2? I'm like, yes. Do you want Hatsune Miku? Yes. You want Sonic the Hedgehog? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You want to play as Jacket from Hotline Miami? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you have to play this game. Damn it.
I know they did a few like Disney crossovers. Like I know they did one with Nightmare Before Christmas. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I tried playing Fall Guys. It's like, oh, game's free. Oh, sweet. Then I tried to turn it on and everything. It's like, oh, you need an Epic account to play this game. And I'm like, fuck that.
Yeah.
I'm just too lazy to create an account just to play this one game.
Oh dear,
Yeah.
How tragic.
That's something I don't like about a lot of games is this idea that people only want to play PvP. And it's just like the game is fun, but like, why can't I just play against dumb bots who don't know what they're doing? So I get so I get the chance to win.
Yeah. I just want a simple fighting game kind of deal. I don't want to deal with like a rough day of work and then play a game where I get my ass kicked by an 8-year-old.
Why do I
Yeah.
want to play against other people? People suck.
Yeah,
Exactly.
You have so many
Yeah.
nerds who play like 50 hours a day. They have like magic powers. They can double their day. And they don't sleep and they don't work. So they're like ultra gods at the gameplay. Like, how can normal people like me fight against that? So yeah, not my kind most of our stuff then. So oh well. Sorry, Starlink Rumble, sitting that one out. So how about that official Sonic timeline that everyone was talking about, and even normal news outlets were talking about it to mock us and make fun of us? How exciting!
Well, I did read a bit of it. I had to translate it to English, and there were some very strange sections. Like one, it says like the Black Arms dropped a temple on Griffith. Like what? Jason Griffith? They dropped a temple on him?
I saw lots
Poor
of jokes
Jason
about
Griffin.
that.
Yeah, I've only seen
yeah.
bits of the I've only seen bits of the timeline they established. There's pretty much two things that come into my mind. One, I'm still not a fan of how they still insist of Sonic CD taking place before the events of Sonic 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really downplays the whole deal about Metal Sonic being, the ultimate robot copy against Sonic. And it doesn't seem that threatening if you have, like, the bulky Mecha Sonic come after Metal. So, yeah, and then, of course, there was that bit in LEGO Dimensions where Robotnik summons Mecha Sonic, and he's like, my first creation to truly rival you! Then years later, Sonic Origins happens, and it's like, not anymore!
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
LEGO
there's that.
Dimensions was never canon anyway, but yeah.
Yeah, but that was always the general consensus, at least. But yeah, and then the other thing that surprised me was that they actually found a spot to put Sonic 4 into the timeline, even if they ended up retconning the ending to Episode 2.
Fair
Wait,
enough.
hold on a second.
Yeah.
I'm just reading this for the first time. The Black Arms drop a flying temple on Griffith on Earth. Okay, that's worded weirdly. And in
Yeah.
absence of that Eggman, and then his name issues a challenge to Sonic and his friend. Wait, Sonic and his friends to conquer the world.
Yeah. I challenge you to conquer the world.
Yeah. Maybe like, conquer the world. It's like, okay, we hate all humans anyway. And that's why we don't see humans in Sonic games anymore. Because Sonic and his friends are all racist.
They've conquered the world
Yeah.
because Metal Sonic told them to.
Almost sounds like AI wrote this.
It's just a translation of Japanese.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. So technically, an AI
Yeah.
translated it.
Yeah, but I mean, Google Translate isn't always the most, reliable source.
Yeah.
But yeah, the whole Sonic 4 thing.
Yeah. I don't know. Did they retcon the ending?
Yeah, they pretty much said like, oh yeah, Sonic and Tails, they fought off Eggman and then they destroyed the Death Egg, which obviously that never happened in the game because, well, there's two endings, like it just depends on if you get the Chaos Emerald. So the apparent good ending, you just see Sonic and Tails in the escape pods and leaving the Death Egg that's still up there intact. We don't see it blow up or anything. So yeah, the whole timeline thing they established just completely retcons the ending. It's like, oh yeah, they did blow up the Death Egg.
Well, maybe, or they're just implying that episode 3 did happen, just we never saw it. So then that
Yeah.
destruction. I think that's the takeaway we're supposed to take from it. So yeah, there is a.
Episode 3 is canon. We just don't get to play it.
You just have to imagine.
Yeah, more
Real
that,
shame. It would have been the good one, guys.
Yeah. Yeah, of course, more of that trademark tell don't show bullshit from Sega.
Yeah.
Just become their trademark move at this point with Sonic. It's like, oh, what happened to the ending of Sonic 2? Like, oh yeah, Death Egg blow up. Well, we don't see it. It blew up. And then the whole deal with guns, like, oh, where's Gun? Oh, they died in Sonic Forces. What?
But yeah, in case of Sonic 4, what do you want them to do? Just like, oh yeah, but we forgot. Or Sonic just went home and just left that whole situation unfinished. Like, they can hardly do that. So they have to do something, I guess. Oh, wow.
I'm very surprised they didn't even fit in Sonic's schoolhouse.
That would have been perfect, yeah.
No, it's more of a crime that they didn't put in Amy's American Page 1 in the timeline.
Exactly.
That's the most important game in the timeline. Man, it's been
But-
ages since I brought that joke back.
While it's not part of like the timeline, they did confirm that Sonic Spinball takes place on planet Mobius. So Mobius is now canon.
I didn't. So it's not in the timeline. It's just only in the different game categories.
Oh yeah, but neither is Sonic Advance 1. You think that's not canon?
Well, I mean, Sonic Advance 1 doesn't have much of a story. It's just your run-of-the-mill Sonic versus Eggman thing. Nothing important really happens in that game.
Yeah, I think that's the point of the timeline. They only refer to games that actually feel things happen that are important to remember. But that doesn't mean that that's not the only game that's canon. So Sonic Advance 1 is probably canon. It just, like you said, has nothing to add to the timeline. But yeah, Sonic Spinball does seem to be canon. It is in Sonic Origins. And the website did talk about Mobius. Although they did very specifically talk about it as if they're talking about a different planet. So I guess...
Yes.
So they do make clear that Sonic's planet where he lives is not Mobius. There just happens to be a planet that is Mobius. So hey, Sally
Correct,
Acorn
yes.
exists. Just on a different planet.
Yeah.
Sonic travels to Mobius for one game.
And
And
he
plays pinball.
and he uses the tornado plane to fly there. So apparently the plane can fly through space. But hey, so that's
Yes.
another reason why Sonic Lego Dimension should be canon, I guess, because that's the only other game where we do see a tornado flying in space.
Oh yeah. So
Even
yeah,
if
they do
it's only
reference.
the. Sorry,
Yeah,
go
so
ahead.
Yeah, so they reference like Mobius and Sonic Spinball, like, oh, they acknowledge blah blah blah. So for my takes, like, well, in the words of Carl Butenel, it's as Carl Butenel-Lenalewski once said, it don't matter, none of this matter.
None of this matters.
That's probably the best takeaway. None of it matters. Sonic Team just making it up as they go along, and we poor fans so
Just like
desperately
the
want
rights
it to
of
be
Kingdom
real.
Hearts.
Yep, pretty much.
Well, like the thing is, it's like the 2010s they were like so hell bent with that whole direction of Sonic's always dumb, Sonic's always shit, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, thanks Aaron Weber. Ugh. And now the 2010s they're suddenly trying to backpedal. It's like, oh no, we're serious, we take things into canon, blah blah blah. Even though they're still doing a poor job at trying to keep things consistent and everything. Sonic Prime is proof of that.
To be fair, Aaron Weber did try to fix Sonic Force.
And where does that fit in the timeline?
Bullshit.
Oh wow.
Even if
Yeah.
it was just the games
As
mentioned on
everyone
the
knows, I have a
timeline,
personal. Oh, sorry.
it's fine. I was just gonna say, even if it's just the games mentioned in the timeline, I would have loved for them to have mentioned the IDW stuff.
That would have been nice, yeah.
Yeah.
That's also still questionably
Since
canon.
that follows Sonic Forces and tries to stay like game appropriate.
Yeah, and it's become boring because of that.
Yeah, especially since they had this whole character
Right.
list. Like the website has this character list, but they didn't include any IDW characters. That is kind of typical, yeah. Oh well.
Yeah. Gotta leave them in their own stuff, because, brand image. That shit, yeah.
Bland.
Yeah, I don't know what's worse, Aaron Weber shit or this current shit.
Different strokes, Milty.
Yeah, that's why they call this the brand era of Sonic. Even though he probably always was, but it feels much more naked now than it ever has before. Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah, well, this is more of the. Yeah, at least like the 90s and 2000s was like at least full of energy, Like nowadays, it's just boring. You're boring, Sonic. Stop being boring. Go back to the 90s where you belong.
Aiming to that, yeah. I'm still shocked how
Even
low
I
energy.
find movie Sonic more appealing.
Yeah, there you actually get to have like meat on the bones. Like actually see what they do with Gerald and Maria was way more interesting in the movie. Well, Shadow X Generations did absolutely nothing with them. Like, oh, they're back and they're standing there and doing nothing. Oh, they're dead again. Okay, bye. Thanks for pointlessly returning them.
Yeah, especially when the game takes place during the events of Sonic Generations. So people are blinded by like, oh, Shadow's written well again. It's like, no, this takes place during Generations, so we're still stuck with Code Run, I win, Shadow.
Yeah, they give Shadow character development in the prequel, where we already know it's not followed up on. Whoops. They did not think that through.
Yeah. Yeah, which me and Dracol went into quite a bit of that in the Shadow episode.
Quite so.
Yeah.
You guys think that maybe we're being a bit too harsh on the newer stuff, or all justified?
We're probably a bit too harsh. It's true, but
Maybe some still kind of like at least some bitterness over the whole 2010s. Because I mean, like I've had to deal with, I've lived through the 2000s. Always being trashed on for liking, modern Sonic stuff. And then there was the two where everyone was ganging up on me, all because I didn't like Sonic Colors. Yeah, thanks, cancel culture. Thanks to you, I'm now traumatized from talking about Sonic games on my own videos.
Oh well, it can be a tough place with passionate fans, and now we're shitting on modern Sonic and making a lot of other fans feel uncomfortable. So we're just as guilty. We're just as naughty.
We'll make them suffer like how we suffered.
It's not a very good mindset, but yeah.
The perpetual cycle continues.
Indeed. I'll at least say I'm looking forward to the upcoming racing game. It looks pretty good so far. So and they're moving in the right direction in a lot of ways. I prefer the level design, how it's becoming lately. So it's not all good doom and gloom. There are a lot of positive things. But yeah, there's still a long way to go for where I want Sonic to be. That's
well, still can't hold a candle to Crash Team Racing Nitro Field.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Nothing will.
No,
enough.
That bar is in the stratosphere. Okay, that's not even fair.
Funny enough, I am currently playing Crash Nitro Kart on my original Xbox because I picked it up on the London gaming market some years ago, and yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's meant to be like the original Crash Team Racing. I mean, it does get very hard during the Relic races and the CNK races. I mean, Clockwork Wamba could go do one.
Yeah, especially with all the damn load times, old PS2 thing, yeah.
I always found it weird that Crash Team Racing is the game that focuses more on boosting, and Crash Nitro Kart is the game that focuses on team play. It feels like their names are backwards.
Yeah. And then came Crash Tag Team Racing, where it just did whatever the fuck it wanted.
Yeah, it's trying to be like Crash Double Dash, but not so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's not even that much racing. Most of the game is just, exploring the hub worlds and everything.
And you collect death animations for Crash. That is a collectible in the game.
Yeah, that's a thing. And if you collect all of them, you can unlock Diaper Crash.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, like
I didn't know that.
Crash. Yeah, if you collect all the dioramas, then you unlock a costume that's, I think it's called like Baby Crash, and it's just Crash wearing a diaper. Yeah.
Incredible.
Anyway.
Yeah, Tag Team Racing is so weird. Yeah. At least it has Roger L. Jackson in it, voicing Willy Wampa.
Mojo Jojo himself.
Yeah, Roger L. Jackson as Willy, the half-fruit mascot. Roger, why do you commute this far? I saw a reference to the credits there. That's like one thing that I found hilarious about Tag Team Racing is the credits, where you can like select different names and you just hear Cortex and Engine making fun of them. Yeah.
That's a fun detail.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Sella.
God, every time I think of Roger L. Jackson now, I think of how weird it is that the voice of Mojo Jojo is also the voice of the Ghostface killer from the Scream movies.
Yeah. Of course, when I think of Roger L. Jackson, it's more of, Mojo Jojo, Powerpuff Girls, classic childhood show, and as well as his work with American McGee, voicing a couple characters in the American McGee Alice games, and of course, Grimm from everybody in American McGee's Grimm.
We're getting off topic here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably.
Sorry,
Back to the
Sylvia.
Blueberry Rat, please.
That was my fault.
Yeah, no, fine.
Well, Rhino says he's happy Marine showed up in Sonic games again, and wanted to talk about that.
Oh yeah, Marine's
yes.
showing up in the mobile games now. Yeah.
Marine the
Yeah.
Raccoon, the lesser sticks.
And the
Oh,
peasant
sticks.
choice.
Yeah, sticks but better. Yeah.
Timba, you're Aussie, right?
Oh,
So how do you
right.
feel about her Aussiness?
Wait, she's Australian?
Well, she has the accent.
Yeah.
At
Yeah,
least.
she's Australian.
She has the accent at least.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought Sticks looks more Australian.
No, Marine has an Australian accent. Of course, you only knew that if you only played like Sonic Rush Adventure, which is like the only spoken bit of dialogue she has in game.
Cool, blimey. No, really, it's more like
Core
core.
blimey, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, aces. Yeah.
She
I
says
don't really
strews
think
a lot.
anything of it. Bit of a nothing burger of a character.
Yeah.
They tried to set up her with a plotline at the end of Rush Adventure, but then that never went anywhere. Oh well. Poor Maria.
Yeah.
He sticks.
Yeah, and of course Archie Sonic didn't do much for her, especially when it was mostly written by a writer who really hated her guts.
Always fun.
Yeah, and although I would say she gets it much worse in IDW Sonic, because like I think there were early ideas that they tried to put her in early, but they kept getting rejected. So then she gets shown up. It's like, okay, she only shows up in one story, and that was the story where they just lazily wrote out Blaze's kingdom and everything just to put Blaze in Sonic's world because she's on quote unquote vacation.
Alright.
But yeah, that's a rant for another time.
Indeed, I guess it's about time we go to Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Alrighty, starting with Best Hedgehog.
Oh yeah, we need the videos.
Oh yeah,
Oh
gotta find
right,
the
yeah.
videos, yeah.
Get the
They
videos
were
ready.
posted weeks ago.
Hold on, I left them in live
Yeah,
stream.
shit, where are they?
Oh yeah, I left the
Here.
Yeah, that one up there that I don't have Sala's, but he'll upload that in a bit. But
Yeah.
this one
Okay,
is
here we go.
in the live planning pinned.
Ah, okay, yep, I found it.
Yeah, you got it?
Got it.
Alrighty.
I got it at least. Everyone else?
Yep.
Yep, I'm good.
We're all good?
Timba?
Alright, then I guess it's time for me to count down. As my computer doesn't annoy me now. And that's a 3, a 2, a 1, video.
Hey everyone, it's me.
Right, sorry, I screwed up, oh boy.
Okay.
Just talk about something random, I need to fix something, I picked the wrong video.
Sonic XBC.
More filler.
Oh.
Yeah.
I got the wrong video,
Yes.
sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Hey everyone,
See,
it's me 234
Cool so
here,
far. I like it
and
so
welcome
far.
to another.
I like Sonic and Flash's relationship. It's great. They're just constantly egging each other on.
There's Batman and Shadow.
So, yeah. So yeah, first issue. Yeah. Yeah, in
Yeah, I
fact,
like
I've seen
that.
people complaining about that scene with Batman and Shadow, which is no
It did-
surprise. But
It
yeah.
did feel a little rushed. It's just like
L
Shadow
is for Luke.
is like runs off by himself, and Batman's like, "Oh, he definitely watched someone die."
Yeah, it's like, I don't want to be part of this team. Then Batman shows up like, hey, I know your pain. Want to come join us? And then Shadow's like, okay, I believe you.
Yeah, Shadow.
Maybe
Oh,
worth
you're
my
not a
time.
family member too?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's just Batman. Batman just says, "Who was it?" And
Oh,
Shadow's
yeah,
like,
Details.
"It was Maria."
Yeah.
Did you say Martha? Why did you say Martha?
Martha. But yeah, I think my only complaint I have with this crossover so far is mostly just the ending to part 1 where Doom guy or whatever his name is, he,
Darkseid.
like, has the emerald.
Yeah.
Yeah, Darkseid. He like has the emerald and just does the cold quote from Sonic Adventure 2. Just more of Ian Flynn popping up his fan service boner. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like
Also,
that's
where's
could've been
Eggman?
better, Oh yeah, that's an interesting point. Yeah, I don't know if Eggman's gonna be in the story or not.
Probably ill.
What DC villain
Yeah,
should
I
he
imagine
be?
he'll.
A fat Joker?
I imagine he'll try and team up. I imagine he'll try and team up with Darkseid, and then that won't work.
Yeah, and if he's not in the crossover, then we'll just say he's just spending some father and daughter time with Sage.
Yay!
Hey, yeah.
Sure,
Batman's
why not?
Still stuck on the islands. It's like, I've lost my Eggmobile. How are we gonna get back? I don't know.
Oh yeah,
Batman.
sorry, my Eggmobile's in the shop. Yeah.
Here's a quick fit.
Yeah, because he overloaded like the whole engine thing when he just like picked the gun up.
Anyway, I got the video ready, so attempt number
Okay.
2.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Take 2.
Ready.
Sorry about that. 3, a 2, a 1. Here we go.
L is for Luke. You look hot, Lucas.
Prepare the
P.
blaster.
F S-O-N-I-C. S-O-N-I-C.
Get your hands off my girl!
Your girl?
And who are you supposed to be?
Your mother!
He's faking it.
What?
There we go. Thank you, Luke.
You're very much welcome.
Yay.
That was a
Luke's
wonderful
first
one.
Luke's first proper contribution to the YTP intro.
Yeah, in the original version, I was going to have the teacher crying over a picture of George Lucas, but Mel suggested the idea to change it to me.
Yeah.
Well, originally it wasn't supposed to be here at the time.
I really shouldn't be here. Yeah. And then, of course, poking fun at me simping over Megumi. Yeah.
Well, I was thinking like what waifu you liked. I mean, originally it was going to be Fluttershy, but I thought no, that's a bit weird, so I'll go with Megumi because it's a bit more humanoid.
Well, I mean, then again, there's never been any clarification on how old the pony characters are. But yeah, the Megumi on works too.
I think he was saying more of species, not necessarily age.
Well, I mean, there's the Equestria Girls version. You could have done that, but yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, getting you horny over underage girls would be a problem too. Yes, absolutely.
Horny at what?
Anyway, yes, so Luke jokes indeed.
Whatever.
Anyway, thank you, Luke, for your contributions. And who's doing the synopsis again? That was... Who's the victim today?
That was Euan.
Euan.
Yep.
So Euan himself.
And we all know how much Roger likes my synopsises.
Take your time, because I'm not finished either. I still need to get the pictures right. Yeah, it's a mess today.
Yes, Euan, please tell us about Sonic's latest adventures with Captain Caveman.
I never
Tell
really
us
called...
a story, Uncle Euan.
Captain Dungeon Man.
Yeah.
That is a story.
You are right. We should have technically had at some point call him like Captain Caveman, but instead I just called him the reject of Cousin It.
Oh yeah, it does look like Cousin It.
Looks
But
like
yeah,
the things my cats cough up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a walking hairball.
I'm just gonna quickly say though that one image of a young Finn Robotnik. I don't know.
Oh,
It looks
handsome
very
Robotnik.
mean.
Muscular Robotnik, yeah. I'm kind of surprised they just have him straight up kicking and punching people. I thought it was forbidden in American cartoons at the time. But man, he just smacks and kicks the guy. He's like, whoa, okay. It could fit right into JoJo's Bizarre Adventure scene. Our muscular superhero, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
right in the squidjulies.
Take that, where's Waldo? I found you. Wally.
Oh, where's Wally? Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's Waldo? In the hospital.
Rightfully where he belongs. But yeah. I'll start off then.
Yes.
So, we start off with Sonic and Tails sneaking into Fortress Robotnik as the Blue Hedgehog got wind of someone being trapped in jail for 30 years and needing a long overdue rescue. As they explore the torture basement, they find the prisoner called Lucas, a giant hairball with arms and legs. After being freed and Sonic effortlessly defeating two octus-looking badniks, they make their escape, narrowly avoiding getting hit by a giant rotten egg from Robotnik's egg blaster, or a giant spring from a grandfather clock, and bouncing it back to Robotnik as Sonic plays Master Chef and using too much pepper causing the Doctor to sneeze himself away. Sonic regroups back with Tails and Lucas where he asks the reject of Cousin It why Robotnik imprisoned him. He explains to them in flashback that in high school, and looking more human, that he was Lucinda's lab partner. But this got a young Robotnik envious that she just kept hanging around with Lucas more than him. He uses a remote-controlled Anaconda to tightly grip Lucas as he then asks Lucinda to join him in his plans for world domination and evilness. But she flat out rejects him and frees Lucas, with the young Robotnik yelling, "You'll pay for this!" As the flashback ends, Lucas continues that Robotnik was expelled the next day and thus began his career in evil, eventually building his fortress and locking up Lucas, with no idea what became of Lucinda, with Sonic and Tails offering to help him to find her. Back at Fortress Robotnik, the evil doctor yells at Scratch and Grounder for Lucas's immediate recapture before he too goes. Hold on. Shows just wrote this down rather quickly, so I'm missing out like commas and such, so it's like bleh. Before Robotnik goes into an alternate flashback to events where a much more dashing, youthful Robotnik who was lab partners with Lucinda. However, too goody Lucas wanted Lucinda to sing together for the orphans, which she refuses because "you're too much of a goody-goody." Then dashing Robotnik, after telling Lucas to leave, but refusing, proceeds to beat him up and throw him out the window, where Lucinda thanks the dashing Robotnik with a kiss, where the flashback ends as Scratch and Grounder are asking him questions of like why they never heard of her before and whether or not they ever got married. However, he doesn't answer them, but orders them to head over to the Mobius jungle where Lucinda is and recapture both Lucas and Sonic, where he'll give them anything they desire, even the toolbox. Thus a rivalry competition starts between the two badniks in the capture of Lucas and Sonic. Scratch makes his way to Mobius Canyon to set up his trap there, whilst Grounder sets up a snare trap that would fling Sonic into a pit he dug out. However, the blue hedgehog tricks Grounder into stepping into the trap and thus flinging himself into the hole. Sonic and friends mockingly say goodbye to Grounder as the battered bandit grumbles, hoping like Scratch will get them. It's like, "Oh, Scratch will get them. He'll get them for sure." Over at Mobius Canyon, Lucas is close to admitting defeat and finding Lucinda as they've explored over half of Mobius and asked everyone they've encountered if they've seen her, though Sonic says they just need to ask the right person. Sure enough, Scratch has set up his trap with Grounder now by his side, unaware that Sonic has tied rope around their feet/waists. After they hear Sonic whistling, they jump on the plank of wood to roll the boulder down the cliff, only just noticing the boulder has rope tied to it, which is turned tied up to them. Thus they too fall down the cliff and crash land in front of Sonic and friends, where the blue hedgehog tricks them into revealing where Lucinda is, where they rush off to Mobius jungle, causing the boulder to roll and flatten the two badniks. As Sonic and friends arrive in Mobius jungle, they hear someone reciting the alphabet, where they find the school treehouse where Lucinda is teaching her class, whilst also showing that she hates Robotnik and misses Lucas. However, Lucas gets cold feet in meeting her for the first time in 30 years, though Sonic eggs him on to doing so. However, just as he says Lucinda's name that she overhears, Scratch and Grounder capture him and taking him away as we fade to commercials. That's right, I'm taking your little quote there, Salah. Because I know, how dare I? Sonic notices from afar that Lucinda is calling for Lucas, where he spots Scratch's footprints, so he and Tails follow them. As the two badniks are about to put the captured Lucas into a cave, he makes a break for it only to be stopped by Robotnik and being taken into the cave. Shortly afterwards, Sonic and Tails arrive following Scratch's footprints into the cave, where Robotnik sets off dynamite that causes a chain reaction to awakening the dormant volcano into erupting, causing lava to cover the entrance into the cave, with the evil doctor gloatingly that Sonic and Lucinda's true love are gone, and upon hearing Scratch mentioning that Lucinda has a picture of Robotnik in her classroom, makes the doctor believe that there is hope for him yet with her. So he, along with the two badniks, make their way to Lucinda's school treehouse. Meanwhile, in the erupting cave, Sonic frees Lucas, but the way out is blocked by lots of hot lava, with the blue hedgehog spinning down all the way to the frozen Arctic to grab a giant slab of ice for them to ride out of the cave with, which they successfully do, but only just. Lucas, once again being doubtful about himself with Lucinda, Sonic encourages him to get a haircut with Tails, while he deals with Robotnik, and I wouldn't blame him for being a bit paranoid considering the fact Tails is 4.5 years old. Over at the school treehouse, as Robotnik practices what he intends to say to Lucinda, Sonic sneaks in from the upper window. Just as Robotnik is about to knock on the door, it opens to reveal Sonic wearing makeup, an orange wig, and a wedding dress, passing himself to Lucinda, which fools Robotnik as he demands his hand in marriage, which he accepts with a big smirk. Later on at a church, a priest performing the ceremony says Robotnik and Lucinda, quote-unquote, are now husband and wife, where the eager, drooling Robotnik lifts up the veil to realise it's Sonic in disguise as the blue hedgehog starts kissing the surprised doctor multiple times. Where he then proceeds to cover Robotnik and the two bandits with a ton of rice, then splattering Robotnik with the wedding cake, all the while capturing the moments for posterity with the camera. Eventually dropping the disguise, Sonic then proceeds to wrap up Robotnik, scratching Grounder with the red carpet as they are sent rolling out of the church. The priest is about to leave, but Sonic says there's one more service he's yet to do. Meanwhile, not far from where Lucinda is, being stranded on an island in the middle of a large lake. Makes you wonder how she actually got there, unless she just swam over there just so she could just mope and sob by herself. With the camera pans to where Tails has finished Lucas's haircut, now looking like he did in a flashback, albeit being a bit older. Lucas getting cold feet again, but Sonic helps out by throwing him over to the island next to Lucinda. With one last egging on from Sonic and Tails, Lucas plucks up the courage to ask Lucinda's hand in marriage, which he accepts. Over at Mr. Quickie's weddings, the priest from earlier is starting the wedding, but Sonic holds up the wedding for a moment to get dressed in a yellow suit, as he says he's the best hedgehog. As the episode ends off with a Sonic Says segment where the blue hedgehog encourages everyone to read, and telling people who can't read to ask a teacher or librarian for help, because how else are you going to be able to read those 90s Sonic novels then? The end.
There you go. Applause for Mr. Euan.
If I had more time on my YTP, I would have had Sonic saying, reading gives you a whole new world of possibilities, and I just show images of a load of like controversial books or like Evil Dead, Stephen King's It, Mein Kampf, etc.
Including Mr. Hitler's personal diary.
Yeah. Yep.
Whilst he just reads
people
it
are pointing
like
this
a
out in the
comedy.
comments. Sorry. People are just pointing this out in the comments that Sonic and Robotnik are married now.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, I mean, technically they are married now.
Yeah, because I might as well mention it though, since it's been brought up, is that there is like a fan comic that someone made called Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog Continues, in which Robotnik discovers like he's still married to Sonic as he's been shown the marriage certificate. So he takes Sonic to court to basically get divorced, but because Tails is Sonic's lawyer, he manages to convince the judge that poor Sonic has been left out in the streets to live in the cold, harsh world without a roof over his head, sort of thing. And the judge obviously believes this because, you know, it kind of is the truth, if a bit over-exaggerated. So Robotnik is forced to have Sonic stay over at his fortress for a few months, where he causes problems, and then later on, back at court, like Sonic no longer needs to stay with Robotnik, but Robotnik has to pay for spouse,
Yes, give half his stuff. Oh boy.
Well, somewhat like that, but more like just giving him money, on a monthly basis. So so Sonic no longer has to live out in the open, even though he still does.
Alimony. Yeah.
Yeah, alimony.
I thought he was gonna go with the same. I thought it was gonna go with the same joke that Roger did in his Sonic OVA minutes. Yeah. Where Sarah gets half of Robotnik stuff.
Oh right, yeah. And grabs all the nuclear bombs and all that. That's fun.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm kind of.
All I'm thinking.
Yeah, go ahead.
So all I'm thinking is how people love to ship Sonic and Shadow was a gay couple, blah blah blah, and it's yeah, bitch please, Adventures of Sonic did it first. So Sonic is canonically gay in official Sonic media, and it's Robotnik being his true love.
And he's slobbering all over Robotnik, so very kinky. Anyway, I love the fact that Sonic already shows himself how he looks like when Robotnik comes on his doorstep, but then at the wedding he has to hide himself again, and then Robotnik immediately recognizes him, even though he already saw Sonic.
But I mean, Sonic still has the veil over his head when
Yeah.
he opened.
Oh, I guess we're not supposed to
It's
see
just
his
like
face.
Yeah, like Robotnik's not supposed to see it, but you know, the audience, we see it like, oh, yo, it's Sonic doing his little tricks, ho ho, that kind of bit.
Yeah, it pretty much evokes more of like what Bugs Bunny would do when he dresses in drag. So like,
Yeah, I understand
Sonic
that
in a
concept.
wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Sonic in a wedding dress is like right up there with like Bugs Bunny as Marilyn Monroe.
Fair enough. Yeah, I understood that part, but I thought that Robotnik could already see Sonic in the first scene. But I guess he does have to fall down. But it doesn't mean that Robotnik immediately marries someone who he didn't see his face and he only remembers from 30 years ago. Well, that can happen to someone's face in 30 years, dude. Even if it wasn't a trap by Sonic, she could have been like very, I don't know, had an accident or something. All kinds of stuff could have been possible.
Oh, it's a cartoon. Cartoons never age. Unless it's like used by like a ray gun or something.
It's true, like Lucas and Cindy barely changed since in the 30 years.
Yeah.
Lucky for them.
Yeah, of course, weird thing about Lucas is that, you know, being in a cage in 30 years and he's like a hairball and clearly not wearing any clothes, but then after Tails gives him the haircut, it's like, oh, suddenly now he grows clothes.
Well, maybe he did have those clothes under his hair, but then he wore those same clothes for 30 years in a row, and he didn't change outfits when he walked up to Lucinda.
Well, no, because like when you see his outfit, he's clearly wearing pants and shoes.
Oh, that's
which
true.
Hairball Lucas was absolutely not.
Oh, so it was naked.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. Okay, fair enough.
I don't know where you got the glasses from.
Maybe he was. Oh, yeah. Maybe he still
Where
wore the
did he get those
glasses.
glasses from?
Oh, yeah. Maybe he was actually naked, and then, like, Tails went and got him some new clothes, and then it's like, there, now you look hot, Lucas.
Yeah.
Which is a weird thing for Tails to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you know, I'll let it pass, because, you know, it's just innocent Tails, you know.
Yeah.
That's just the only clothes they sell in the clothing store in the jungle.
Yeah.
Lucas
Hot
with his
clothes.
clothes on. Lucas with his clothes on kinda looks like cartoon Roger without the beard.
Like a younger Roger, maybe.
Yeah.
Nose had to be bigger, I suppose, but yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah, like in the old loading
Season
screen.
1 Roger. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, speaking of which, Rogers commented like, "Oh, they only sell clothes in that style in the jungle." So I guess that means everyone is dressed up as Where's Waldo in the jungle.
Hey.
Oh, where's Waldo? He's everywhere.
Are you Wally? No. Are you Wally? No. Why'd you dress up like Wally?
Yeah.
Because we
Are
got
you
out
Wally?
from the hot store over in Mobius Jungle.
Yeah, it's like, "Oh, are you Wally?" Talks to a fire hydrant. "Oh, it's okay. Take your time."
I have been wondering if this is like one of the earliest instances of seeing like human characters in like a Sonic cartoon.
Yeah,
yeah,
I
like
think so.
outside of Robotnik, yeah, this is the earliest depictions of seeing other human characters in Sonic media.
Yeah, and I guess Snively.
Yeah.
Oh,
Snively
yeah.
would have been before this.
I mean, even though
maybe.
I mean, even though this is like the 13th episode, from what I've heard, this was actually the first episode that aired in America.
Oh, really?
Huh.
That's weird.
Which I suppose makes some form of sense, because it would have been a bit awkward if, like, Sonic kept destroying Robotnik's fortress, blowing it all up, but yet he only just suddenly hears there's someone in the dungeon that needs rescuing for 30 years.
I was about to make that statement because now every previous episode we have to assume that while Sonic was running around the Robotnik's laboratory, like poor Lucas is yelling in the dungeon, "Hey, don't forget about me!" Oh, I left again.
Yeah.
Yeah, this guy, especially
With
since
his old 90s shirt.
I mean, it would make sense if it was Robotropolis, because that's a huge city with 1 million buildings that Sonic and Sally spend ages exploring. But this is just one tiny laboratory that Sonic goes in every episode, pretty much. So it's kind of silly that he completely overlooked this guy for 30 years. So that is a good point, yeah, I was thinking about that.
I mean, then again, there isn't really a definitive layout of how many rooms are in Robotnik's fortress, because as the series goes on, we constantly keep seeing all these, like, one-shot rooms, like, oh, there's a kitchen, there's a food room, there's a, you know, this and that. So, I don't know, maybe there's some fan out there that's made out, like, a fan-made map of what goes on, or maybe it's all happening inside the mountain.
I was just under the impression that the dungeon was not actually in Robotnik's fortress, but Now that I think about it, I think it was. So.
Yeah, we do see an establishing shot at the beginning, and it is Robotnik's fortress.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah.
Yeah. I was just theorizing that since Robotnik's fortress is like on top of a spiraling mountain, then maybe most of the rooms are like inside the mountain instead of actually in the building.
Yeah, I suppose we have to assume there's like hundreds of floors underneath of the basement. So fair enough. Because otherwise it would be really sad. Yeah.
Yeah, TARDIS logic. We'll just go with that.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of surprised at Scratch and Grounder in this for a few reasons. One is like Robotnik offers them absolutely anything they want for Lucas's capture, and initially this causes them to like turn against each other because obviously they both want the prize. But after just one failed attempt, they start working together again.
Yeah, that went nowhere. That's kind of interesting. That's true.
Yeah. But also, like, after Robotnik lets it slip that Lucas is Lucinda's true love, that's when Scratch reveals that Lucinda has a picture of Robotnik in her schoolhouse, intentionally omitting the fact that she uses it as a dartboard. And then when Robotnik, and I know he did it intentionally because after Robotnik is like, "Oh, I have a chance," and starts going for it, Scratch is like, "Oh, I've got to see this." he just fucking set up Robotnik for failure for his own amusements. That has never happened before.
Yeah. One amusing thing about the whole, like, oh, you could name your prize bit. I remember someone said, like, oh, like, there's actually swearing in this cartoon, and it's mostly the bit where Grounder says, oh, even the wrench said? And apparently some people mistook that for him saying red shit. Yeah. Yes, even the red shit. Yeah.
Or maybe the wedge set. Like, it has a load of wenches.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I just noticed Sonic having blue arms in that scene.
Yeah.
With the trio looking through the window. I did not notice that.
Ooh.
I absolutely love the quick shot of the kids in school, like cheering. Not only looks super derpy, but like there's like one girl like jumping super high, and like a boy in the background is completely naked. And like,
when I saw that, I can imagine Don Sean going, "Oh, goblins!"
I don't like them.
It's
Robotnik's long lost son. Yeah.
It's like a 2-second shot, but there's so much happening. Everyone's spazzing out. I love that shot.
It feels like a joke of, like, you know, kids are chaotic little creatures. And it's to prove that, here's one in the background that's just naked for some reason.
Is that too much sugar? Yeah.
They also make me think of the ugly kids from Sonic Underground.
Oh, that's true. Very Sonic Underground
yeah.
moment. Hey, Melty.
Oh yeah, don't light the way bit. Yeah.
Melty, you being the obscure Sonic guy, are those kids in the school based on the Sonic Schoolhouse characters you can play as?
Well, I don't know. It's like maybe the giraffe, but I don't know.
Because you
had
had
like a kangaroo with a floating face. Yeah.
You had a bunch of Sonic Schoolhouse playable characters, right?
Yeah, just a bunch of random generic animal characters. Yeah.
Now I want to check it out. Where is they?
Yeah, because I know there was an elephant and a kangaroo and others. Yeah, surprisingly a lot of different animals you can play that game. Even though you can never really see your character in game.
I can only see fan art of them, not the official art. Yeah.
Yeah, let's go to like the Sonic Week. Yeah, I'm sure it has like a screenshot of all of them.
You see them in the background here. But yeah, they're not the characters from the school. Too bad. It would have been a fun reference. But then again, I think Sonic Schoolhouse was after this show, so... Oh, wow. So, Sonic Schoolhouse reference out of the way. Yeah, fun episode.
Yeah, and just when I found a picture of all the characters.
Oh, sorry. Game. Okay, yeah, show me. Okay,
hold on. I'll dump it into live chat.
All right.
Okay, there we go.
Ah, thank you. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so what's her name again? Lucretia?
Lucinda.
Lucinda, that's the one. She never talked about Sonic that her boyfriend was missing for 30 years. I guess nobody cared. He's just in a dungeon and nobody cared. Even though she still has a picture of him.
Yeah, I mean, Lucinda's like kind of weird because like, well, I think it's mostly near the ending where she's like, oh, she's like moping about, oh, I miss Lucas, and somehow she's moping out like on this island in the middle of the ocean. Like, how did she get out there?
I love the fact that Lucas is suddenly dropping in after 30 years. He has no questions about it. Just, oh, Lucas, you're suddenly back after 30 years. Let's marry.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
You want to get married? Yeah.
Not even an ex. He's like, I'm back after 30 years. Want to get married? Not even as so much as I was captured by Robotnik.
Yeah.
Well, you know, you're
Yeah, it's like, no, shit. It's like, oh, forget the explanation. We only got like 3 minutes of screen time left. We gotta get married now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really think they shouldn't have made that 30 years. Like, it's really stupid. Like, could have been better if it worked for only 5 days or something. That they could have bought it a little better.
But they
Was
didn't.
nice of Robotnik to keep Lucas fed the entire time, though.
Yeah. And apparently give him still enough like gym time, like movement time, because he's not like he can still move around. His muscles still function.
Yeah.
So he must have been left around to move all occasionally.
Because yeah, he's like in a really tight cage when we see him, and yet he's still active and moving around. So
Still athletic. Yeah.
Lucas, it's time for recess.
Exactly.
a Rubik exercise.
Like a doggy. It's time for walkies.
But it's
Time
very
for walkies,
punishable.
yes.
But it's very punishable sort of exercises.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or,
Like,
you know,
forces him to walk
violent
through like
exercise.
Yeah. Yeah, it's time for walkies through my deadly traps.
That'd be great. Also, I found it noticeable in the dungeon that it's Lucas and Tails who actually grab Sonic and run away with him. We usually see the other way around. Sonic who's had to be grabbed for once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting twist.
He's too caught up in his ego.
Yeah, what else about this episode?
Well, I was wondering what Robotnik was doing behind. The way Robotnik emerged from that bush with Stretch and Go was very strange because you hear a noise, then you see Robotnik emerging from the bush, and then you see Scratch and Granny emerging from the bush looking very depressed.
Yeah, ready for round 2, dimbots.
Oh no. At least it's not amused if she was here.
Yeah.
I love how goofy Sonic and Tails look when they see those footprints on the ground. They're like, yeah, he's so happy. They love
We're getting close.
they love role playing as Sherlock Holmes. Apparently, they're just so super happy about it. Yeah, footprints.
The backgrounds were nice.
What is it with the backgrounds?
Very-
I thought that
looking very
the
nice.
painted backgrounds in this episode looked nice.
Yeah, it's much more detailed than usual. I do love the artwork in this one. Yeah. I mean, usually, yeah. I mean, it's still kind of abstract looking as usual, but it's a lot more detailed this time. Yeah. Very good art. I agree. Not as good as Sonic Underground. I still think that's backgrounds are even better there. But yeah, for an Adventure Sonic the Hedgehog episode, this looks very nice.
I'd give the episode 6 out of 10.
All right, that's a pretty good score. Anyone else has a score for it?
Yeah, same for me.
6 out of 10, just average, just typical Adventure Sonic the Hedgehog.
And I give it 1 nerdy Robotnik out of handsome Robotnik.
I'll simply give it 6 kisses by Sonic to Robotnik's face out of 10.
I give it a 7 because there's some shots that are absolutely awesome, especially with Robotnik drooling when he looks at the bride. That's
Oh
really.
yeah, he's like. Oh yeah, he drools quite a bit in that wedding. He's like first unveiling the veil, and then when he like notices, oh, it's Sonic, and then grabs him, and he's really pissed off. Yeah.
But also just beating the heck out of Lucas in this flashback. That was kind of shocking to me. It's like, and I used to just direct violence like that in an American cartoon from this time. So yeah, still pretty
Well, it's
edgy.
a dream sequence. They can. Yeah, it's a dream sequence. That's their excuse. Yeah.
I guess so. So it gives it a 7 out of 10. It's a little extra edgy, which I always appreciate. There we go.
I don't know. I'd give this one a 6. It's not too notable. I did notice it had a specific quote in it that I didn't know came from here, and that was Sonic saying, "When fast thinking is of the essence, I'm the essence of fast thinking," which is something that they had Sonic say in Sonic and Tails R.
Oh, okay. So I guess
which was cool because we got to hear Ryan Drummond say the line, but also during the outtakes we got to hear Jason Griffith say the line, so that was cool.
3 Sonics saying that line. Oh, is that a classic line or what?
Hell yeah!
All right.
It is now.
So I guess Emmy Jones is a fan of this episode then, I suppose, or at least from that sense. Good to know. So, shall we move on to?
Quote.
It's a nice quote indeed. Are we moving to Robotnik Express?
Robotnik Express.
I will be sharing the final version of my YouTube poop intro right now into live stream planning.
You made a new version?
I actually, this is the old version. I made a new version for the compilation because I didn't want to spoil the ending of this one.
Oh, but I have the one from the compilation prepared. I didn't have another version. Then you have to send it to me.
Well, yeah, I guess I'll just send it to you directly as well.
Wow, it's a wonderfully messy episode. Another technical problem.
Well, I mean, hey, it's been like several weeks since we've gone back to our usual runs of the stream.
Right, so I have to screw around to get that video working. Anyone wants to talk about something? Luke, any Switch 2 games you're looking forward to?
Well, one is I'm hoping to play that also comes on the Switch 1 is Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment, because I always wanted to play a Zelda game set during the Imprisoning War. It won't be the same as the one from Link to the Past or Ocarina of Time, but it would be cool to play in a Hyrule Field War as like something at the beginning of the first Lord of the Rings movie. And I mean, they seem to put a lot of focus on Zelda because you don't know if we're going to put Link in it because this is set like in the distant past where Link wasn't present. So either they'll find a way to shoehorn Link in, or they might put in the hero's aspect, which is basically an alternate skin for Link, which could be, so he could be either King Raru's champion or he could be his son.
Ooh.
Plenty of possibilities, alright.
Or this could be a great opportunity to bring back Linkle.
What?
Yeah.
Linkle? What is Linkle?
Linkle from no timeline.
Linkle was a character created for the original Hyrule Warriors. She is a girl who thinks she is the hero of Destiny.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, and she's my favorite character in that game. She's great. She's a Kuko farmer, and she has an awful sense of direction.
Perfect
for the old crossbow.
Tell the fanboy what you want. I'm gonna put him on speakerphone.
Punk round the sink? That better have been a wrong number.
Later, geeks. Tell the fanboy what you want. I'm gonna put him on speakerphone.
I got the video ready. What is it, Melty? You want to say something?
I mean, like, if you're still working on it, I could fill it with some filler, but if not, then we can move on, yeah.
Alright, I think we can move on. Alright, so everyone has the Sala video ready? The new version?
Ready.
I imagine it's the one he just posted, so yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the one I just posted.
Okay.
Everyone ready?
Ready.
Okay, yep, I'm ready.
Then we count down. A 3, a 2, a 1. I go.
Tell the fanboy what you want. I'm gonna put him on speakerphone.
Punk round the sink? That better have been a wrong number.
Later, geeks. Got a streak.
The anti-rebel explosive devices are ready to launch. All they need is your final shipment of ham.
Uh-oh. What are we gonna do now, Sonic? Live fast, think fast, act fast. So what are we gonna do?
You serious? I just told you that a moment ago.
The Bears! The Bears! The Bears! The Bears! The Bears! The Bears!
the secret is revealed.
Yes.
Ah.
If anyone was wondering what the thumbnail was, that's what it's a reference to. Because that's what these characters are a reference to.
Oh, it's a good thing we didn't discuss the thumbnail then, so we didn't force you to spoil the surprise.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm sorry we didn't discuss your thumbnail. Whoops. I only realized that now.
That's okay.
Just...
We've got an opportunity now.
Yeah, okay. Might as well talk about your thumbnail for a bit. Sure. So.
Yeah. So, the reason I wanted to do the thumbnail for this episode for so long is because of these two characters. They're a reference to a Saturday Night Live sketch called Bill Swirsky's Superfans, where it's just a group of guys in Chicago who all talk like this, and they all wear aviator shades, and they talk about Da Bears, which is their favorite football team. Occasionally, they'll also talk about Da Bulls, which is their favorite basketball team.
Yeah, lots of bear cameos in the background. Yeah.
Yeah. So for the thumbnail, I included a whole bunch of fictional bears, including Bark the polar bear. Obviously, is the big one. I got I don't remember the name of Fluttershy's bear friend.
Harry the bear.
Yogi. Harry?
Yeah, Harry.
Okay. Yogi, Winnie the Pooh, Smokey Bear, Poe the Kung Fu Panda.
Paddington.
Paddington, I threw that one specifically in for Sylvia. To annoy her. And then there's Fozzie Bear and I don't remember his name, like Herbert or something?
No, I think it's Humphrey Bear. Yeah.
Humphrey Bear.
Yeah, it's a Disney character.
Yeah, so just a whole bunch of bears. And when I realized nobody got the joke, I intentionally kept the punchline secret. I'm like, oh, surely someone recognizes Bill Swirsky Superfans, and they get the joke.
Sorry, never watched Saturday Night Live.
Oh, that's understandable. I figured maybe Melty, at the very least, would, but.
No, sorry, I haven't seen that show. Yeah.
So it's kind of obscure to every one of us except for Salah.
Which is I think is the best possible outcome. I feel like someone might have objected if they knew what I was going for, but I think it's great.
But I suppose it also explains why you kept missing out on actually including Da Bears.
Da Bears, yeah.
Da Bears.
Yeah.
And of course, Luke is missing from the thumbnail because it was actually drawn for 2 streams ago when Luke was not going to be present.
Yeah, it was originally Dissected Alive 88's thumbnail, and then it was 89's thumbnail, and now it's 90's.
Sorry about making you keep changing it. But yeah, lucky Timba still wanted to cameo for make an appearance in this one. So
yeah, I was originally going to have like myself in there as Chris Farley's character, but when Timba said she wanted to do the synopsis for this episode, I'm like, oh, she's got to be the one devouring meat.
Of course.
So there you have it, the truth.
Well.
This wonderful thumbnail. And Euan is very disgusted by Timba. Even putting off his sunglasses off.
It's like, can you leave some for us?
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's another thing. I gave everyone the aviator sunglasses, so I turned Euan's glasses into aviators. I turned Roger's glasses into aviators. And I also gave Melty aviators, and I turned his mining cap light into an aviator.
Oh, I just noticed that.
I noticed that Melty there looks like something out of the Village People.
Yep.
Oh yeah, and they all have the mustache as well. Well, except for Timba, but even Roger has it over his actual beard.
His beard, yeah. Funny enough, I usually have a mustache before I go for more of the clean-shaved look nowadays, yeah.
It's kind of funny that I happen to give Salah and Luke also mustaches in the pictures on the frame for good different reasons. Just no aviator glasses.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, everyone's got a mustache, except Timba.
except Timba.
Yeah.
Roger's looking kind of checked out.
Well, that's how Roger looks like 24/7.
Yeah. No, this is what he gets up to when he and Sylvia have some private time.
He just talks about bears.
Yeah.
Talks about bears. Or is it Sylvia that talks about the bears too, Roger?
Bears dissected.
This is actually my first time drawing Timba, Euan, or not Euan. I've drawn Euan before. This is my first time drawing Timba, Roger, and Melty, and I think they turned out pretty okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still get the chuckle of like Timber just devouring everything.
Yeah.
With the bones still in the chicken legs, I think, or it's supposed to be chicken nuggets.
Oh, she's
No, they're wings. They're
So with the bones and all, you just frozen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
She's got a strong stomach. Yeah.
She's a
Either
tiger.
that, or she
Tigers
just
eat the bones.
Yeah.
Either that, or she just spits the bones out, like completely clean. Like
Right into Melting Man's garbage can.
I could probably unhinge my jaw to process logic.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's obviously why Euan is just looking like, how are you doing that?
Yeah, that would be funny. Like, yeah, her spitting the bones into my trash can, and I'm like, why do I gotta put up with this shit?
You want some?
It's barbecue flavored.
I think I'll be fine with the rack of meat that's pounded been left in front of me.
Yeah.
Not sure what it is.
That's ribs.
Okay.
Spare ribs.
Yeah, ribs.
Yeah, there's a whole turkey in front of Roger, pile of sausages in front of Melty, a whole ham in front of Timba. Between Timba and Euan is a pile of pork chops, and in the front is bone-in wings.
Oh, that's pork chop.
Oh, I thought that was a steak that was in front of Timba.
Now it looks like ham.
No, there's a little bit of pink next to the pork chops. That's the
Oh,
slice
now
of
I
ham.
see it. Yeah, it just kind of blends in with the whatever thing next to it. Yeah.
And all while I'm probably doing a Fuzzy Bear dissected. Gonna complain about all these terrible jokes. Here's why Fuzzy Bear's not funny. Here's why he's not funny. Let me dissect all his jokes.
Well, I mean, Roger's already gone on like lengthy tangents about dissecting comedy in the older episodes, so it makes sense.
Exactly. That's why I immediately zoom in on Fozzie. I hate unfunny comedians. Poor
Why can't they be
Fozzie.
as funny as Winnie the Pooh?
There you go. Funny as Waldorf and Statler. They're my heroes. Poor Fozzie Bear. Right, shall we move on to the actual episode?
Yes.
Yeah. Timba, you're the one doing the synopsis this time, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yay.
Huzzah.
Then shall I start or?
Yes.
Whenever you're ready.
The floor is yours.
Okay. So this episode opens with the Robotnik Express train going down the railroad, being piloted by Scratch and Grounder. The two badniks argue and fight with each other over who gets to blow the whistle. As the train passes by a hill, two bears named Mad Mike and Big Grizz, aka the Bears, watch as Sonic and Tails speed by after the express. Soon enough, the train cabin alarm sounds, and Scratch and Grounder see that Sonic and Tails are racing after the express. The two baddies then secure the train's throttle. Scratch belittles Grounder for having done so before they needed to switch tracks. Though Grounder says it doesn't matter because they gotta focus on stopping Sonic. While traveling to the caboose of the train, Scratch stops Grounder from falling through a car roof, revealing the whole train to be full of bombs that they are transporting. So, the badniks cut the caboose loose, turn it into a big weapon that they can use to capture Sonic and Tails and tie them up. The bears close in from afar as the badniks celebrate over their loudspeaker. This wasn't enough to stop Sonic though, who breaks free and turns the tables on Scratch and Grounder. The heroes then escape, while the bears then show up and free Scratch and Grounder. The two dim-witted bears confuse the badniks for heroes, convincing the bears that Sonic and Tails were actually the bad guys. Scratch and Grounder then join the bears in their vehicles to track down the heroes. Sonic and Tails get back to the train and can't stop it from moving. So they then try to improvise. They race ahead to a broken bridge down the track. Sonic warns some workers there that a train is coming and that they haven't got long. Sonic then tries to turn a switch nearby, but he can't, so he grabs a dead tree and says that he'll use it to divert the train down a cliff into a river. Scratch and Grounder and the Bears board the express and try to stop the heroes, but Sonic and Tails jump off the train and a low-hanging rock formation takes out the group chasing them. Tails suddenly gets puberty and gasps when Big Grizz grabs the fox, but Sonic uses another of his disguises to trick the four to getting hit by another oncoming train, followed by the group getting knocked over again by a water tower. Grounder complaining that he had just taken a bath last month. Meanwhile, Robotnik is at his bomb factory, monologuing happily as the machines are making more bombs there. He sees the train is late and decides to call up the Badniks. The Bears hear the phone in Grounder's stomach go off, but Scratch quickly convinces them that it was just a bad onion rings. Robotnik hopes that it was just the wrong number. Scratch, Grounder, and the Bears speed past the express and into an oncoming tunnel, Sonic following them. On the other side, Big Grizz knocks down some big rocks to block up the tunnel exit. Sonic uses another disguise to trick the Bears into removing the rocks and setting up a proper blockade. By this, they mean jumping onto the tracks and using themselves and Scratch and Grounder as live obstacles. Of course, the express knocks them all away. The Badniks hit the ground, but the Bears still hold the front of the train, and the cactus pile ahead is going to hit them, until Sonic manages to use that dead tree from before to help the Bears onto the express train's roof to avoid danger. Sonic and Tails tell the Bears the truth that they are the real duo. The Bears so clueless that Sonic literally had to run all the way to the Bears' house, where he somehow knew where they lived. Grabbed some honey and brought it back to the train just to prove how fast he was. So now, the Bears want to redeem themselves. So Sonic takes Mad Mike's car keys and drives it back to them so they can race ahead of the train and fix the broken bridge before the express crashes there. Scratch and Grounder use the second car to board the train again and try to catch Tails, but the fox easily escapes them and flies away. Sonic and the Bears manage to turn the train tracks into a ramp and help the train ride over the dangerous cliff safely to the other side, and they all celebrate, saving the village below the cliff. Scratch and Grounder think they've won and call Robotnik only to tell him that they can't stop the train. It crashes, hitting all the bombs inside and everything explodes, destroying the factory. Outside, Sonic, Tails, and the Bears happily watch, and Robotnik once again says that he hates that hedgehog. Finally, the Bears wave goodbye as the two heroes leave running away into the distance. The end.
Applause for Timba.
Yay. Oh, I forgot about the Sonic Says bit.
Yeah, it is.
Oh,
Sonic...
right, and
Oh, I forgot about it too.
oh, I completely...
Oh wait, that's about strangers, yeah.
Yeah.
Strangers. Yeah.
Stranger danger.
Stranger danger.
Two smart strangers.
Fortunately, they're not strangers to Scratch and Grounder, so Tails was totally safe to get in the car with them.
You know what? Fair. That's a good point.
Always talk to strangers, kids.
Yeah, this episode. Aside from the Bears, the most I definitely remember of this episode was the whole "lock up the throttle" bit, because I've seen that used so many times in YouTube poops.
Yeah.
What?
And
Welcome
then the
to
end with the
Throttle.
fireworks.
Lock up the
Yeah,
throttle.
like when Grounder locks up the throttle and yells, "Lock up the throttle!" Yeah, that was a very common thing people used in YTPs.
Oh, okay.
Still kind of do.
Yeah, kinda. You don't see it
Almost
as often.
Yeah, almost surprised Salah didn't decide just to throw it in just to revive the meme.
I thought about it, but I try not to do that. It's very tempting to, because like they're recognizable jokes, but I don't feel like it feels like cheating.
Yeah.
Yeah. I almost did, but I stopped myself.
Well done, Sal. Don't go for the easy targets.
Yeah. Speaking of that scene, though, like, the Robotnik Express's emergency procedure in case of Hedgehog is actually pretty solid. Like, they had clear instructions of what to do if they spotted Sonic, which included locking up the throttle, fastening the couplings, and like something else I don't remember. But like, all of these things batten down the hatches. Yeah. All of these things actually prevented Sonic from stopping the train. So, like, that was a solid emergency plan executed flawlessly. Way to go, Robotnik, I guess.
Yeah.
But it worked too... Because they literally couldn't
too well.
Yeah.
What I found kind of funny is that part of that plan was also that one of the trains of the wagons was loose and went towards Sonic. But then it stops right in front of him and just vacuums him up. Like, if it just kept driving, it would just killed Sonic. Because Sonic was laying on the ground. He could have just run him over. Although the episode is kind of unclear because there's one part where the bears and Scratch and Grounder get hit by the train, but then that doesn't hurt them at all. But then they are suddenly in danger because the train's about to hit some cactuses. And that's deadly. It's like, wasn't getting hit by the train itself not deadly then?
Yeah.
They're tough. They can take it.
Yeah.
They're cartoon characters, yeah.
Cactuses are pokey, so they hurt.
The trains aren't pokey, so you can't. It's safe to be hit by them.
Yeah, exactly.
And of course, it's a great.
Cactuses are spiky.
There you go.
I just love that the cactuses are actually growing through the train tracks.
Yeah, I guess the train doesn't get there very often. Then again, it makes sense since the bridge is broken. So I guess.
Yeah, like they're going down the old tracks. So yeah.
But of course, Sonic goes through the cactuses just fine and dandy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, he's spiky himself, I guess.
That's another thing, is like when Scratch realizes that they forgot to switch the tracks, Grounder's first thought is, so what? We'll get there. And if it weren't for Sonic, they absolutely would not have gotten there.
Yeah, Sonic Rush saved them. Yay, good for Sonic.
He does care for them.
I do like that Sonic trying to switch the track himself later on. He was not strong enough to pull that lever, so his solution was to uproot an entire tree with his bare damn hands and just throw it on the track.
Yeah.
Cartoon logic.
Yep.
And this is why he's not strong enough to lock up the throttle.
And down the hatches.
I guess levers are more powerful than trees. There you go.
Yep. That lever was really stuck. and yeah, since it's on screen, when Scratch, Grounder, and Dot Bears get on the train, their cars are left behind and they just immediately smash into this rock and are blown to bits. And then later the cars are just back fine. There's no explanation.
Oh, you know, the cars just had an extra life, that's all.
Yeah.
Video game logic, why not? Yeah, I
So
find
guess
this.
the bears are like vigilantes or something.
Yeah, they wanted to rob the train at the start. That was kind of an interesting twist.
Yeah.
Let's rob the train. So the train robbers are the good guys for once. Yay.
Yeah,
It is our patriotic duty to rob that train.
Would be interesting if they did rob it. They had a lot of bombs. I guess it could do more terrorist attacks then.
Yeah. Sell them at the black market, yeah.
Yeah, to get more honey.
So because of the train, this was a more fast-paced episode, which I like.
It was a
quite
very
lot.
action-packed one, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of stakes in this episode, all about trying to stop this train from, you know, delivering bombs and blowing up a nearby village. Yeah.
The thing is that Robotnik had pretty much had enough explosives to blow that village up 1,000 times over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty intense episode.
Yes, it's clearly it's Michael Bay's favorite episode.
Indeed, it would have been.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Timba said.
Timba, what she was saying.
Yeah, I find it funny what Timba said, like that Sonic immediately knows where the bears live, like for no reason.
Yeah.
He just immediately walks up to their home.
Stalker.
He's a stalker indeed, yeah. Sonic just knows where every animal in Mobius lives. He's creepy like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could use
You
that
know
board.
where
He
we
just
live,
keeps looking
Sonic?
into everyone's home.
Yeah, it's just Sonic just breaking and entering the bear's house. Yeah.
Because not only did he immediately know where their home was, he also immediately knew where their favorite honey is. So it's not the first time he's in their home. Well, Sonic, we know your secrets now. It's not pretty.
Also, like, when Scratch and Grounder are pretending to be Sonic and Tails, and then they say that Sonic and Tails are Scratch and Grounder, that includes, like, Scratch saying, Scratch is blue and spiky, and Grounder says, and Grounder has 2 tails. But, like, the bears already know that Tails has 2 tails, so I don't know what's going on. And even worse, like, that's something that Tails does to prove his identity.
Very good point, yeah. They're just really stupid. Oh, well.
Grounder has 2 tails, and Tails is like, I have 2 tails. Like, so you're Grounder.
Yeah, that should have been a fun twist, yeah. That should have happened. That's a good point. That would have been a nice break joke. Yeah, go ahead.
So, like, Scratch and Grounder are, like, they're villains in a slapstick cartoon, so they're always going to get, like, any kind of mild inconvenience or suffering whatsoever. So, like, while Dot Bears are dragging them along, thinking that they're Sonic and Tails, they keep, like, hurting them on accident. And I'm wondering, like, if they actually were Sonic and Tails, would Sonic and Tails actually be victims of the slapstick too?
Sadly, no, because we do see him team up later. But that would have been funny.
Yeah.
Heroes in cartoons usually get like anti-slapstick armor sometimes.
Yeah.
I guess so. How boring. One thing that kind of amuses me in the quick animation is at one point you see Scratch like screaming and he's about to hit the rock, but then the next shot he just looks fully determined again.
Just him accepting his fate at that point.
Whatever, just hit that rock, yeah!
I'm gonna die! Oh well.
Let's do it, yeah! That was kind of funny animation.
I especially love because like his scream gets cut off so abruptly as well.
Yeah.
Perfect choo poop. Yeah. I guess right in the middle of his scream, he just accepted his fate. Ah! Oh wait, actually, it's pretty cool. Let's do it, yeah!
Commit suicide!
Oh well.
Mid scream, he realizes he's actually pretty cool. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he gets yanked out of the way. He's like, come on, Sonic! Yeah.
Don't rescue me now.
I was mentally prepared.
For death.
Yes.
Well, that was a decent impression there of Scratch. Yeah.
There's the scene where Sonic is pretending to be the ticket puncher on the train, and for some reason, like all like Scratch, Grounder, and Dup Bears all are looking for tickets they don't have.
For their own train.
They're all very convinced. They're all very convinced they have them. And Sonic like pulls 4 tickets out of nowhere. And Scratch is like, "Those are our tickets!" And Sonic just smacks him away for some reason. And then he like tells him like, "Oh, you're all supposed to be on the westbound train. This is the eastbound train." And he like pulls a lever on Robotnik's train that causes the wall to flip open. And there's just a lounge there for them. And I'm wondering if that was always there.
And then there's a train coming from the other direction, even though in the other direction there's the broken bridge. So where the heck does the train come from?
Yeah.
It's wonderful to try to figure out the logic of cartoons.
and then like Sonic goes, like as the Scratch, Grounder, and Dot Bears are going the other way, Mad Mike is like, I feel like we've been tricked. And Sonic comes back, he's like, oh, I just made a mistake. You were supposed to be on the eastbound train. He's like, I knew we were supposed to be on the eastbound train. And Sonic gaslit him so effectively that he was positive they had tickets on this train.
The master of gaslighting, that Sonic. Ooh, he's evil, I tell ya. He knows where everyone lives, can do magic powers. He made two random civilians almost commit suicide at one point. Like, he was talking to the construction workers at the bridge, and then they just were scared so much it just fell off a cliff. Which a normal slapstick reason would have hurt them very badly, but in this one it didn't. But it was so random. You just talk to them, and they you see them fall off the bridge. Like, holy shit, Sonic killed them.
Yeah, it's funny. Like, Sonic shows up with like this huge sense of urgency. Tells them like, "There's a runaway train coming here," and they don't seem at all concerned. They're like, "Oh, we'll don't worry about that. We'll get the bridge done in about a year or so."
You got 5 minutes.
Says, you got 5 minutes, and that's what gets them to be worried all of a sudden.
Yeah. I'm just funny with like the context of the screenshots. It's like literally just shows them just jumping off, and Sonic's like, "Hey, look, Tails, they just killed themselves."
Yeah. Look what I did, Tails.
See the way they splatted?
Look what I can do with my gaslighting. I gotta love random slapsticky stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, what else about this crazy episode?
Let's see.
Surprisingly little Robotnik in this one.
Yeah, there's not much Robotnik,
An episode named after him and he's barely in it.
Well, at least it gave me my favorite bit with, like Robotnik's phone's ringing and Ground's like trying to cover it. Oh, it's onion rings, yeah. And he's like belching and Robotnik hears it on the other hand. And he's like, "For ground's sake, that had better been the wrong number." Somehow that still lives rent-free in my mind with that scene.
Yeah. I don't remember where I first saw that, but I knew I needed to include that. But I'm like, what to have him here on the phone? And then like a few weeks ago, some friends and I sent like a story that, you know what, it's probably not appropriate, but it's some femboy telling a story about someone making a call for quote unquote services.
Oh my.
Oh no.
But just the quote, "Tell the femboy what you want. I'm gonna put him on speakerphone," out of context was just too good to pass up.
But yeah, I'm just imagining the amount of fun people would have just including that sort of moment of where Robotnik's like, "That better be the wrong number."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's prime YouTube poop material there. Yeah.
Right. What else?
Oh yeah, how about the deal with those robot arms in Robotnik's factory? It's like, they're putting together the bombs, but it looks like they're just moving around and not actually, putting the bomb together. They're just flailing around.
It's like, gotta look busy, gotta look busy.
Gotta look busy.
Yeah, squiggly arms.
Almost time for my union mandated break.
Funny animation.
They could also just look as though they're just like trying to tickle the bombs that they're making. It's like tickle, tickle, tickle.
Good news.
Just to see whether or not they would go off or not.
Yeah. Maybe they're just patting them. Like, oh, who's a good explosive boy? Who's a good boy?
Yeah. It reminds me of that one Bugs Bunny cartoon where he like gets a job at a bomb factory and his job is to hit the bombs with a hammer and then label them duds if they don't explode.
Oh yeah.
Donald Duck short where like the robots had to screw the bombs and then salute pictures of Robotnik.
Yeah. Kyle Robotnik.
Oh boy. Yeah, that Donald Duck cartoon.
That infamous one.
Yeah. It was the World War propaganda era. Yeah.
Good times. Good times.
Speaking of all the bombs, though, this was quite no no pun intended, explosive end to this episode.
Yeah.
Where, like, Robotnik and Scratching Ground are being flown off on a rocket, and, like, Dot Bears are like, oh, I can't imagine a more beautiful sight. Sonic's like, I can, and then the bomb explodes. It's like, oh man, Robotnik is just, he's fucking dead.
Yeah, the episode definitely ended with a big bang there.
Hey.
Gotta throw in one of these.
If that was the final episode, it would have been very definitive. Even though Sonic immediately goes off
Yeah.
and more missions.
Yeah, it's like, yep, that's it. That's how the show ends. Yep.
And then in the next episode, when Robotnik turns up, Sonic was like, "Aren't you dead?" And Robotnik says, "Yes, but I lived."
I always come back. Yeah.
Somehow, Robotnik returned.
Exactly.
He just had to deal with the dark side of the Sith.
Yeah. The dark side of the penis.
No, he just got better. Yeah. I thought you were dead. I got better.
You know, now that I think about it, Timba's theory that Sonic is stalking the bears might hold water because, like, they never introduced themselves to him, but he knew their names.
That is a good point.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and funny enough, there actually is an episode that happens much later where Sonic teams up with the Bears in a much later episode.
Oh,
So we have not seen the last of Da Bears.
They're recurring characters, alright.
They are, yes.
Whenever I hear the bears saying that, the bears, I keep thinking of that bit from the Hair Bear Bunch intro where it goes, "Help, help, here comes the bears." Help.
Oh yeah,
that old cartoon.
Help, it's the Hair Bear Bunch. Yeah.
Good stuff.
Anyone remember that over the age of 20?
Nope.
I only know it thanks to Boomerang. You know, back when they used to show old cartoons. Yeah.
Back in the old days.
Back in the 2000s. Yeah.
Oh well. Right, shall we move on to Sonic X Comics, or do we have more to say about this episode? I guess that's a yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't think of
Can't really
anything.
think much else.
Yeah.
I give this episode a duh out of bears.
Agreed.
I give this one Bears 72, New York Giants zip.
Oh yeah, that's a pretty good score there.
I think I'll give it 8 pretzels out of ham.
Thank you.
I give it 5 trains out of late.
Yeah,
Love the
Robotnik's like,
scoring system.
Oh yeah. And at the end, Robotnik's like, Scratch and Grounder, you have caused confusion and delay.
I'm actually just imagining the Fat Controller just saying that to a Botnik who's like all burnt up from the explosion.
Oh yeah.
You have caused confusion and delay. I'm banishing you to the Shadow Realm. No! Much better.
No!
And I'll give it a lucked up throttle out of 10.
Yeah! Positive scores all around.
Yeah.
Yay! All thanks to the Bears.
Da Bears.
Da bears.
The
Da
Bears.
Bears.
Alrighty then. Then, sadly, without any bears, Doku and Boku's not so excellent misadventure.
Yeah. I had to think I was gonna do this. I wanted to do this one, but Timba called first, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'll do the next one.
Oh yeah, that one milk ad.
They're very creepy
Yeah,
looking
that was
one.
always such a random got milk ad. Yeah. Going to send to Milkatraz.
Even the girls
Sounds
looks
crazy.
there like, I don't know what this is. I don't want to get the gut pun either.
Yeah, they're so like, the fuck is this shit?
I don't get the pun.
Milkatraz sounds nasty though.
Yeah, a place where it's not where they serve you nothing but spoiled milk.
Oh no!
I mean, the Milky set looks good. Looks a bit like that of a Warhammer play area.
It would be awesome for an electric train or a Warhammer thing. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like a D&D thing. Yeah.
You must get all the way from the beach all the way up to the factory itself, which you can clearly see has a glass of milk on top of it. That shows that's the location.
So, shall I go ahead and do the synopsis on this one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Please do.
Please do.
Okie dokie, Sonic X. Eco and Boko's starring comic role. Sonic and Captain Westwood bicker with each other as Dr. Eggman attacks with his big giant robot. Sonic attacking the robot in return with his big spinball move. Westwood's beetle ships shoot lasers at the machine, so Dr. Eggman tells Deco and Boko to prepare to fire the laser cannon. The two robots don't know which button fires the laser cannon, however, so they just choose one to press. This makes the machine instead fly away into the air, making Eggman say that they should just retreat for now. Westwood takes all the credit and says that they can use the machine's discarded limbs for their own uses. Sonic, nearby, not thinking highly of the idea. Eggman and his robots return to the egg carrier that is parked in a large field, and Eggman is angry with his two henchbots that they have foiled his plans for the last time. Deco and Boko try to defend themselves, but Dr. Eggman doesn't care, and fires the two, saying that he is going to build bigger and badder bots in their place. Down on their luck, Deco and Boko try to get new jobs, and days pass by as Dr. Eggman happily continues his building new robots. Bokun calls Deco and Boko to see how they are doing, before Eggman calls him over to see and meet his newest creations, Duko and Buko. Meanwhile, Sonic, Tails, and Chris are going out for Sundays, and are surprised to see that Deco and Boko had gotten a job there. However, they are not good at the job and are making a mess of the place. So Sonic uses his super speed to clean out the ice cream parlor and make it all nice and tidy, saving the two bots from being fired again. Just then a report appears on the TV screen nearby, where the reporter says that Eggman robots are attacking Area 99, to which Sonic was already there. Captain Westwood sends out his beetle ships, and Sonic saves the men from being blasted. Instead of thanking Sonic for the rescue though, Westwood just starts arguing with him again. Eggman's new robots, Duko and Buko, attack the beetle ships, blasting them all down, and Sonic watches on with a smile, saying he loves a challenge. Duko and Buko then crash into the base to retrieve the Eggman machine limbs, and then start fighting with Sonic, causing a big mess and sending the Hedgehog into a piling heap of debris. Back at the egg carrier, Eggman is happy that his two bots retrieve the limbs, but Duko and Buko then turn on the Doctor and decide to apprehend him. Out of sight of this, Bokun goes to get help. Later, Bokun arrives at the ice cream parlor that Deco and Boko are messing up yet again. The boss there insists the two robots leave to go help Bokun save Dr. Eggman, and Sonic follows after them. Later on, Duko and Buko finish upgrading Eggman's machine, and announce nothing will stop them. Sonic and his robots show up, and Sonic starts fighting Duko and Buko again. Duko says that they have converted the machine into a deadly missile, and presses a button that makes the ship fly off, saying it will hit the heart of Station Square. Sonic runs off to deal with the threat. Deco and Boko try to free Dr. Eggman, but the evil robots spot them and give chase. Deco and Boko slip on a frozen banana tree that Boko had dropped from earlier, and accidentally hit some machinery, this freeing Eggman from his cage in the process. Bokun tosses Eggman's the remote that he used to stun the bots, and activate a giant spring below their feet to send Duko and Buko flying high. Meanwhile, Sonic uses one of his power rings to spin dash up high and hit the missile, managing to knock it off course and to send it right back to the egg carrier, where it lands hitting Eggman and his minions. Eggman offers the two robots their jobs back, at reduced pay of course, Deco and Boko, remarking that he was even paying them from before, and wondering if the Doctor had a remote to make them lose their arms and legs as well. Dr. Eggman tells his lackeys to follow, saying that they have more evil plans to make, and then he laughs maniacally.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
All right.
And,
That's something.
It was.
Yeah.
Yes.
Our best boys on their own adventure. Sort
Yeah.
of.
Not that they got much screen time still.
So,
Oh well, they're still a hell of a lot better than Orbot and Cubot.
True.
yes.
Yeah, I'd be glad they got any screen time at all.
An interesting thing in this is the Archie Comics reference. The boss of the ice cream parlor that Deco and Boko work at bears a very striking resemblance to Pop Tate from the actual Archie comics.
Oh wow.
Not the Archie Sonic comics, the actual Archie comics.
Oh yeah, I thought there was something off about the design there. Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Nice little background nod.
I also love in the page where Sonic cleans the restaurant. Everyone in the restaurant goes from looking miserable to looking fine as if nothing happened. The best example of this is the guy in the yellow cap who is just face down in a pile of ice cream before Sonic cleans it.
Yeah. It's like, oh, I'm dead. Oh wait, no, I'm not.
Yeah, I know.
not dead. Yeah. I don't know. Kind of just, it feels like the story. You just kind of feel sorry for poor Deco and Boko. You know, they're trying to make an honest living and they just suck at it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Poor guys can't catch a break.
Compared to other Robotniks, like he's like Scratch and Grounder or Slate and Dingo, I felt these two are like the weakest pair. So a story revolving around them. I wonder how many people were bothered to read this one.
I would.
Yeah.
Good question.
Yeah. And, you know, at least Deco and Boko had, like, some funny moments in the show. And there are moments where they actually do show that they are confident to, like, you know, carry out certain things.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I guess.
But, yeah, in terms of
Usually it's, yeah, in the actual Sonic X show, usually it's Eggman who's the incompetent one.
Yeah.
It's just his lack of planning that causes all of his plans to fail.
And hey, that's what the replacement Boku and Deco and the robots also the conclusion they come to. So,
yeah.
I guess the writers of this comic agree.
I love the designs of I love the designs of Deco and Boko.
Oh yeah,
yeah. They look pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's pretty neat. Too bad they're just one-offs, or aren't they? Dun, dun, dun.
No, they're one-off characters.
Duh.
Yeah.
Ah. Boo.
Yeah.
And this is why they get no fan art, because they're one-shot characters and they're from, you know, the Sonic comics. Because nobody reads the Sonic comics.
Except us, but we're nobodies. So.
Yeah.
I just love in the first panel you got Sonic and Westwood arguing, and Westwood's like, "Oh, I take orders from you," as a giant robot is about to flatten him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Priorities. You
I don't take orders from you, Sonic.
Yeah, Westwood being all racist and all that. Yeah.
Speciest.
And I also like how the giant robot, kind of resembles the robot from Lost in Space.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Danger, danger, Will Robinson.
Sure, why not?
I do find it funny, like, how the egg carrier is just literally just on the outskirts of, you know, Station Square, but yet, like, no one seems to batter an eyelid, despite how close it is to the city.
Oh, the hamster lits an eyelid.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like it's really that close to the ground, and it's like out in the middle of the park somewhere.
Yeah. Also, the way it's kind of drawn, it makes it look like as though it's a lot smaller than it is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's just a one
like...
story size sort of like ship.
In fact, like it's part of it is in front of a tree in the background. So unless that tree is absolutely gigantic, the egg carrier is pretty small here.
Yeah. If fact, when going through this series, I kind of feel like Joe Edkin must have been like a fan of Adventures of Sonic, because like this issue is an example of like, yeah, we're about to kind of acting like his Adventures of Sonic bit, mostly near the beginning, where he's like, "Oh, you metallic morons."
Yeah, it's especially funny because like, I was. When I read these Sonic X comics, I try and like imagine the actual Sonic X voices in my head, but I was having a hard time hearing Mike Pollock's voice today, and it was just Long John Baldry, and then he says "you metallic morons," and it became impossible. I'm like, okay, it's just Long John Baldry now.
If only we could immediately get the man to do all the voice lines of the comic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Also, what looks like a random appearance of Clark Kent.
Oh yeah.
Oh where?
Oh yeah,
In
where
the-
is that?
Couple
In
of
the
hours
street.
later, streets of Station Square, just after Deco and Boko were fired.
Talking.
Oh yeah, now I see it. Yeah.
Oh
Also
yeah.
the-
Oh,
also the
that's Jimmy
redhead-
Olsen next to him.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, Superman is canon to Sonic way before the DC crossover.
I was gonna say he looks like a more realistic version of Archie, but yeah, he does look like Jimmy Olsen.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, I didn't notice that. I noticed the red hair guy. I didn't notice Superman standing right next to him. And now that he's there, it's like, oh, that's obviously Jimmy Olsen.
Yeah. I do kind of dig the gal with the purple beret. I don't know, she kind of looks nice.
Yeah, this is a guy's design. Maybe the girl from that Extreme Goofy movie. Who knows? But
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, that one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's, I guess with all the disasters Station Square going through, I guess it makes sense for reporters to start showing up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wanting
that's
a
where
peek
the
of the
real
action.
news is.
But Clark,
I do find
yeah,
it interesting that Eggman is going through what he kind of went through in Sonic Heroes with Metal Sonic taking over and putting me in a jail. But this time, Eggman has a backup plan with a self-detonating remote.
What a shame. I wish he was calling Vector and make him go on random missions first. I am your client.
Yeah,
Go find a bunch of crabs on the beach.
Find a bunch of crabs and bingo chips. Yeah.
No hurry, no hurry. I'll be waiting in this dungeon. Sonic Heroes. Good times.
Times.
Good times.
Good.
Yeah, anything else about the comic? It's I kind of wish we spent more time with them in the ice cream parlor, but I guess it's just a quick joke and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been
There
nice
was-
to see more of them.
There was minimal Chris, so that's a good thing.
Yep.
Yes.
Which makes
Very
you
little.
unhappy.
Exactly.
wa-
There's even less in the next comic.
Yeah.
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 He wanted to get ice cream and he never got one. So aren't you happy? Right. Shall we move on to the next comic?
Yeah, okay, move on to the next one.
Sorry, feeling a little tired. Alrighty, let's go to Hedgehog and Robotnik. And who's doing the synopsis this
Yeah.
time?
So, yep, I'm doing this one.
Indeed,
Gasp.
you are.
So, so it starts off with Sonic just going on a run, and it seems like he's being chased after by this mysterious-looking car, which I guess the Joker decided to pimp out a ride or something. So Sonic's running, and then now he's getting attacked by gun robots. But of course, Sonic's fast enough to avoid their attacks and everything, and yeah, makes the robots like blow. What? Oh, the car blows up the robots. But yeah, then Sonic's like, well, good, well, see you later. But then suddenly, oh no, it traps. He gets trapped in a cage, and then gas starts fuming out, which knocks him out. And then he wakes up where he's all chained up, where a bunch of these abandoned shadows are there. It's like, we finally got you now, Hedgehog. You're gonna pay for ruining our lives. And then we get like the big shocking reveal that we get like these members of like people we've seen in previous episodes, like the general guy who tried to overthrow the president when he tried to make a deal with Eggman, and because of that he got fired. So yeah, I think that was during the Sonic Adventure 2 adaptation. And then we got Hector, once a member of Sam's speed team, who was pretty much, apparently he was a rival against Sam, but then Sonic showed up and upstaged him, so he really wanted to, upstage Sonic, but Sam found him to be too reckless and putting people in danger, and he got fired. And then we got Howard, the former warden of Prison Island. So yeah, another Sonic Adventure 2 bit where after Amy breaks him out and escapes and the island blows up and apparently cost him his own job. Then surprisingly we have this character, Dr. Narasu. I'm just gonna pronounce the last name. But yeah, surprisingly, a random one-shot character from episode 2 who was like, hedgehogs are not fast. No, the cheetah is the superior race. But everyone called him out when Sonic, is real and not a robot, so he lost his job. And, we got Li Yan from the episode with Knuckles and the Hog, which obviously Sonic never met, but he's still pretty bitter. And, then we got... Jerome. Yeah, that one sleazeball guy who was, once the president. Oh, Jeremy. Yeah, once the president's, advisor and second hand. But then, he made a deal with Eggman, which cost him his own life, his own job. Now out in the streets, like, all right, I'm gonna be part of this organization. So they reveal that together they are known as the Society for Observing and Neutralizing Interdimensional Creatures and Xenomorphs. But they are very prejudiced against Sonic and his friends. So in other words, it's just a typical day in the Sonic fanbase. So Sonic thinks this is all a big joke and easily breaks out of route. And the big guy sends out his thugs, which Sonic makes quick work of that. But then the warden's like, oh, you're in my turf now, Hedgehog, which sends out a bunch of robots. But of course, Sonic easily defeats them, and of course, we find out that their hideout is the ruins of Prison Island. So meanwhile, back at Thorndike Mansion, Chris and the gang have banded together, like, oh, Sonic's been missing after that chase. We got to go find him. And Sonic's like, oh, I'm right here. And then everyone's celebrating, yay, Sonic's back. And then Chris is like, oh, but I wanted to be the hero. So Sonic tells them the whole story about how there's an organization made up of familiar faces. And they're all like, oh, don't worry, I'm sure there'll be no big deal. And surprisingly, Sonic is concerned. It's like, maybe so, but, that many wackos with all those resources and connections, that does seem a bit concerning. So, what?
Sorry,
what?
Continue.
Okay. So, and then we get the ending where, the organizations are forming their advisor, who's basically, at least you have proven one thing, that we can be able to catch Sonic, so, I'll get you next time, Sonic, next time. And then it ends.
All right.
I'll get you next time, Gadget.
So we basically get the gun commander. Yay! Kind of.
Kinda.
Yeah,
kind of. The closest version of it we get in Sonic X.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Technically, all of these characters are characters that have appeared on the show, even if only for a few seconds.
Yeah, a lot of minor characters, especially the Doctor, who was, as I mentioned, was a character that only showed up in episode 2.
Well, comics, they love making references and continuity.
Yeah, at least the Doctor had spoken lines, unlike Hector.
Well, no, the Doctor did have speaking lines in the episode.
Yeah, unlike Hector.
Yeah. Oh, Hector? Wait. Oh, right. No, I thought Hector did have some lines. Wasn't he that guy who was like, oh, don't you know it's dangerous to ride on a car, something? I thought it was that guy.
Maybe. You know what?
That's from the first episode, right?
I thought he was...
Well, no, I mean, the pose that Sonic makes, it does look like it's that guy.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he only showed up in the first episode regardless. Just like Dr. Kai Narasu only shows up in the second episode. But Jeremy, or I guess, I looked it up, I guess it is Jerome. I was thinking, it's spelled the same way that, Curly Howard spells his name, and his name is pronounced Jeremy, so I assumed... Yep. But no, apparently it is Jerome. Sorry, my mistake.
Episode does make me think of that Sonic Boom episode with this shadowy organization made of people that have it out for Sonic.
Yeah.
You mean the one when Robotnik gathers up the villains or whatever?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that dumb episode with Shadow's introduction.
Still like the concept.
Man, like,
Yeah.
yeah, this is an interesting concept with them trying to set up this organization of, like familiar minor characters. They're all banding together because they have, they're all pretty much against Sonic for various reasons.
And I always wanted to see a lot more. Yeah, go. Sorry.
Yeah, or as I pointed out, it's just more of the comic doing a characterized version of the actual Sonic fan base. Ha ha.
That's one way of looking at it. But yeah, I always kind of looked at seeing more of the inner workings of Gun, because I was kind of unclear if they're good guys or bad guys, so it's more fun to actually see them like bounce off of each other. So now we actually get the evil Gun and really more in the foreground. I mean, I guess the movies are also doing that, but yeah, here's the Sonic X version of them.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, at the Legion of Evil.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sonic X did it way before movie Sonic.
One panel I did like is where Jerome introduces himself with the shadowy eyes and his moustache. I thought, oh, one of that's supposed to be symbolism for something.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't.
Oh no.
No, that's a shadow, not a mustache.
Just a very
Yeah,
suspicious.
but like Shadow looks
Yeah.
like a mustache.
I think I'm more concerned about the other shadow on his cheek. It's like, did someone cut him open there, or?
It looks very intense, at least. Yeah, could fit right into a Godfather movie with those dark shadows.
Do not mock this cut on the side of my face. I just accidentally shaved wrong.
What kind of a shaver are you using?
Ye old school finger blade.
Oh, yeah, finger blade, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Melty, I think you missed out the joke that their organization is spelled Sonic X, and that's why Sonic was laughing at them.
Yeah.
Because they're supposed to be like.
Well, I didn't do it because I figured the naming was like kind of already obvious enough.
Yeah, it is an obvious joke,
Yeah.
but that's the specific reason why
the
Sonic was
Sonic
laughing.
fan base joke was just too, just too easy. Like, like, oh, they hate Sonic, and like, yeah, that's what the Sonic fan base is. They hate Sonic, and they call themselves Sonic fans. Isn't that right, Aaron Weber?
Yeah. I do feel like, especially in this issue, like we mentioned it in the last issue, but in this issue, Sonic feels very Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog-y. Like he's got the attitude where he's like not taking anything seriously, and he's just laughing in the faces of the people that think they have got him cornered.
Pretty much, yeah.
Also, I like that it took Sonic pointing it out for them to realize that their organization name spells out Sonic X. They even like made a huge sign and everything with all of the first letters like emphasized, and they still didn't put it together.
Well, that's Jerome for you. Never.
And of course they all blame Jerome, but like they're all equally guilty for agreeing to it.
I guess I didn't see the poster until that moment.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm seeing in the comments that Rhino points out an interesting contradiction to this story, where the general guy, the one who's always grabbing his foot for some reason, yeah, like that's the same guy that tried to like stop Sonic and his friends from going home with that teleporter thing near the end of season 2, and yet here he is saying like, oh yeah, the whole gun thing in Sonic Adventure 2, and he got fired. And then okay, how is he still in that position if this is supposed to take place before the season 2 finale?
That is a good point.
My answer is that Gun is very incompetent.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, what?
As a wise individual once said, don't ask questions, just consume product.
Yeah, that's the sad fate of Sonic media these days, with the brand era.
When it comes to Gun, I just always assume they're just that stupid. Like, he was in prison, he's like, hey guys, can I do a quick little thing in my office quickly? And they're like, okay, sure, go ahead. And there you go, there's your answer. I mean, if this is like written like an Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog episode anyway, might as well operate on that kind of logic.
Yeah.
Good old Gun, always so hilariously incompetent. Gotta love him.
Yeah. I guess
I
we
love
could
the-
just, like, throw in a red
I
card,
love
like,
the bit
oh,
at the
yeah,
end.
Yeah, go ahead, Luke.
Sorry, I was going to say that I love the bit at the end where like Chris is all like giving up, he's going to plan to go all gung ho, but then Sonic turns up and it's like Then you see him at the end kicking the helmet, like, yeah.
Yeah, like Chris just pouting in the background.
Take that.
He was so looking forward to cosplaying as Commander Keen. Had his helmet on and everything.
Yeah. Oh, I wanted to be the main character and save my love Sonic and yada yada.
Oh well.
I guess like the real Commander Keen would have done in one hit anyway.
Yeah. Just shoot him with that laser gun. There, all done.
It is kind of odd they're
Better luck
immediately.
next time.
Yeah. It is kind of weird they're immediately worried about Sonic for being missing for 3 hours, even though in the show he's constantly just running away for days.
Yes.
Where's Sonic? He's been gone for 10 minutes.
Yeah, that does seem a little, because like, even though they say like, you know, he's been gone for 3 hours, like that does not sound out of the ordinary for Sonic.
Yeah.
Sonic X Sonic was wherever the hell he wanted to be, probably taking a nap.
Taking a nap on the top of a mountain somewhere. Yep.
Guys, Sonic's missing. We gotta rescue him. Chris, it's only been 10 minutes. We gotta rescue him.
Rescue
I
him
got a
from
golf
the
club.
Yeah, I got a golf club and I'm not afraid to use it.
I'm ready to cave in some skulls.
With my putter.
He does look pretty intense in this second picture. It's like that's the face of a man ready to kill.
And he gets so mad about it that he like kicks his football helmet away. He's like, I wanted to kill someone.
Yeah.
I wanted to be involved.
Yeah. Yeah, then Knuckles is like, oh, I wasted my time for this. I'm out of here.
Nice for him to show up.
Alright.
Or miss Sonic missing for 3 hours. It's the Knuckles being called off as Angel Island every single time Sonic is missing for 3 hours.
Yeah.
No wonder he's so pissed off
I
at
do
everyone.
like though. I do like though that Knuckles still considers Hawk to be a good friend.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yeah. Even though he
pretty
never
cool.
saw him again. Yeah.
On the show.
yeah,
Yeah, that's so fun about the comics that they kind of do expand on the show. Like, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Get a little
I
extra
guess,
detail.
yeah, there's only one hiccup with the whole general guy. I guess they could, like, throw in a retcons, like, oh, maybe he was just trying to act him out on his own, you know? The background was just his own decor that he got from home.
Sure, let's go with that.
So, yeah, we'll go with that. There. Still canon. Yeah, it still fits. Yeah, even though, like, Rhino was, like, still complaining, like, oh, this comic guy's, like, kind of contradicting, blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, hey, at least it's a hell of a lot better than going through IDW Sonic and trying to make sense of how that's somehow canon to the games.
Indeed. Oof, getting a little tired. Is there anything else we need to discuss?
Let's, well, I know Rhino, like, pointed out the whole Tales 2 episode, and I'm like, oh, right, we completely forgot to talk about that.
Oh, right, yeah, because we
yeah.
talked about Mario last time. Okay, the Tales ship. Alright, I'll...
Yeah, the new one with the random purple hair gal that they've been teasing about for, like, 3 years or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
The random girl they was first revealed in Tales Tube and has been driving the fan base crazy ever since.
Yeah, I mean,
they've
really
just,
trying
like-
to hype it up and like, oh, there she is, and just doing nothing. Yeah.
Yeah.
But there is a lot of people theorizing that Tori's full name, because Tales did not end up revealing it, is Victoria Robotnik. And
Maria said
because where did that come from? I'll tell you where that came from. Tori is the one who found Gerald's journal, for one thing. We know this from the Japanese version of Gerald Robotnik's journal that came in Sonic, or in Shadow Generations. In the English version, is her note in the front is just labeled T, but in the Japanese one it does say Tori. Also, she is an archaeologist. Eggman is a roboticist, and his father was a roboticist, but Gerald's other son was an archaeologist. And also, we found out in Shadow Generations that Maria has an older sister. So, like, all three of these things combined seem to indicate that Maria's older sister would be an archaeologist. And, yeah, so...
Okay, so basically it's just speculation.
Well, yeah, it's just speculation, but, like, that's a lot of coincidences that line up a little too well.
Something Captain Theory would approve of?
Well,
I do approve.
Well, unless they pull up a red herring and it's someone else, and I'll just be in the background laughing.
Like, she meets Robotnik and goes, yeah, I am actually your cousin's sister's father's brother's former roommate.
Pretty much.
What does that make us?
Absolutely nothing.
What is what you are about to become?
Yeah, so, yeah.
Prepare to be deleted from the internet.
So, yeah, they finally give us the big reveal. Oh, yeah, random purple-haired lady that's been teased about for 3 years. They finally reveal her after all these years, and my reaction is just, eh.
She's mostly used as an anticlimactic joke, yeah.
Yeah, one anticlimactic punchline, yeah. The one thing that did kind of found interesting was the voice, and at first I actually thought that was the one gal that voices Octavia Melody from MLP Friendship is Magic. 'Cause it does sound very similar, but I looked up, it's like, oh no, it's a different gal. Still nice.
Yeah, it's Crystal Lee, who has quite a few roles in a bunch of games, a bunch of gacha games from the looks of things.
Yeah, which apparently they're all games I've never played or heard of. Yeah.
But she was also in another Crab's Treasure, that Crab Souls-like game that came out. And so yeah, the only character of hers that I'm aware of is Rena from Zenless Zone Zero.
Anyway, to talk about Till's Tube again, I found it kind of interesting. So here you have a scientist who's actually looking into the archaeology stuff from the Sonic series, and she's talking to Tails, someone who has publicly fought with, or dealt with actual, like, supernatural elements, and yet she just gives zero fucks about it at all. She's completely disrespectful towards Tails.
Yeah, like what the hell? It's like, where the hell were you during Sonic Unleashed or any of this stuff?
I guess the scientists are just as incompetent as the soldiers. Like, every human in the Sonic universe is completely idiot.
Yeah.
I mean, this is as if Indiana Jones actually, like, in public dealt with God and all that, and nobody cares. So, like, yeah, you found aliens and God, whatever, man.
They just retconned her into existence. Like, oh yeah, she's always been there. She just suffers brain damage or whatever.
She doesn't
whatever
seem to care.
Excuse they can come up with. Yeah.
Yeah, it's especially weird because, like, we know she is a professor at Spagonia University, where Professor Pickle worked.
You know, Tails do actually work together with Tails closely, so Tails has credibility.
Like, Professor Pickle is the expert on Dark Gaia.
I guess Professor Pickle's been retconned out of existence at this point, with how Sega's been racist against humans showing up in Sonic media.
Well, here we have a new human, so...
Yeah.
He's just not at Spagonia anymore. He moved to Missouri? No.
Shamar?
Where did he? Shamar.
No, he moved next door to the sandwich bar so he could just have an infinite number.
Yeah, there's no sandwich bars in Spagonia.
I assumed he moved back to Spagonia after Unleashed, because I just thought he was just, he's just accompanying Sonic in the game just to be the translator or whatnot. And then after the adventure's over, it's like, well, time to go back to Spagonia, or whatever.
Yeah.
Who knows?
That does make sense, but, like, we have no idea of knowing whether or not he did.
And even if he moved, so what? I assume that professors across the world can communicate with each other. It's not like a scientist at the University of New York has no contact with anyone from London or anything, right?
Yeah. So there's absolutely no reason she could not have, like, asked Professor Pickle about Dark Gaia. Because, like, she's clearly interested in it. She's an archaeologist. And so
then again, most
and she didn't think, like, oh, you remember that one time the Earth blew up? What was that about?
Because she's talking with...
I'll never know.
She's talking with Tails, who fought Dark Gaia, and Orbat, who's the one who was part of the team who resurrected him. Yet she gives zero fucks. Very interesting.
And all I can think of is like, Professor Pickle. Okay, well, where is Professor Pickle? And Tails like, oh, he died during Sonic Forces, just like Gun.
Possibly, who knows?
He went back to his home planet. I don't know.
That's pretty much what I'm going off of. It's like, yeah, they said that, you know, Gun killed, Eggman killed off Gun and Sonic Forces. Like, okay, you know, might as well just say that he killed off the entire human race since we've never seen any of them again.
That's kind of what. That's kind of what the Master did in Doctor Who.
Because girls get a free pass. Because no one gives a fuck about male humans, I guess.
We'll see. We'll see what happens, what they're doing next. Because I assume that Victoria is going to play a part in the next game, and it's going to be archaeology themed.
Oh, sure. And she's just going to stand there.
Probably,
just like in Sonic Frontier, she's just like out in the hub, you know, the hub world, and just spouting out like random garble. You know, blah, 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 blah. I'm Toy, blah, 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 blah. I'm still here, blah, 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 blah. But that's more my cynicism kicking in.
I can't entirely disagree with you, but yeah, indeed. We'll see what's next, we'll see. But hey, at least humans are back to some capacity, so yay.
Yeah.
But yeah, it kind of would be funny if she goes back to her home planet, and her home planet is Mobius, and now Mobius is the place where all the humans are and the animals are on Earth. And just switches places. That would be funny. But yeah, so on Till's Tube, well, yeah, I feel like the Till's Tube episode is more a troll than anything else, really.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. I mean, I remember, like, back then when it was announced, I was kind of against the idea with the whole, like, oh, VR chat-themed Sonic stuff. It's like, oh, yeah, even more fuel to the fire with the Sonic meme pandering and shit.
Well, so far they're doing more world building than memes, but yeah, of course the question is how much world building is going to translate to the games. Yes, Luke.
I want to remember something that Sonic Paradox recently released a couple of weeks ago an Ask Vector animation Q&A video. And they did a thing where they asked people to send in pictures or fan art to have as background images as Vector answers questions. And one of my old pictures made it in, which is of Sonic frying an egg on Eggman's head.
Congratulations! So now you're also a Sonic Paradox contributor, just like me, and accidentally Euan as well, even though he didn't know about it.
Yeah, I've also been trying to ask him, like, who do you think should voice him in the Sonic movieverse, which I don't know ever got answered. So if anyone else could try to ask him that'd be brilliant.
Oh yeah, I think I saw that video, and no, that question wasn't brought up.
Unfortunately.
Maybe next year they do another Vector Asks, who knows.
Honestly, I did see through the video, but honestly, it kind of feels like it's a bit hard to sit through Sonic Paradox. I don't know. I mean, the first two episodes they did years ago just really, really left a bad taste in my mouth. Really bad first impressions.
Oh, you love this one because Vanilla shows up almost naked, so especially for you.
What the fuck does that have to do with that? No, it was hard to sit through because of the their past history of bashing on the 2000s era. That's why I really lost track with Paradox. That's why I really don't watch them. Is because the first episodes just really gave me a bad first impressions, and I just didn't give a shit about it anymore.
All right, well, all different people, so some might have a good sound, others don't. But yeah, you might be missing out on stuff. You might be missing out on.
Sure.
Maybe you've gotta.
Oh sure, like Sonic joke number 25 or. Uganda Knuckles, number 20 through yeah. Tired meme shit, thanks to fucking Aaron Weber, yeah.
Maybe you've got a friend who has worked on Sonic Paradox, Maybe you could support him.
Yeah, wink wink, nudge nudge.
Not anyone close by that's
generally speaking, they don't do meme jokes too much. They do have roughly my sense of humor, so if you like my work, you should like most of Sonic Paradox work.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I can't find Luke's drawing. Why can't I? Oh, I found it finally.
I thought it was posted in the live chat or somewhere.
Oh, did he? Oh, wow, sorry. But yeah, well, now I have it. So yeah, Luke shows up in Vector Asks, their April Fool's joke this year. So there you go, Sonic Paradox, indeed. Which reminds me, I still have to make a new cartoon for their next Sonic Shorts. Haven't started on that one yet. Oh well, so much stuff I need to do yet.
Yeah, and I still gotta do that one co-op episode with Salah if he's still interested in doing it.
Yeah, who is it about again?
It was us talking about the Archie Sonic versions of Tikal and Chaos.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, because I know I sent you the stuff there, and I know you told me that you wanted to draw your character this time instead of letting me doing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of might be a bit odd after coming after like Dracol and us doing the Shadow episode, but unfortunately, Tikal and Chaos's history is much shorter than Shadow's time. But yeah, it's still interesting, and I figured it'd be a good opportunity for Sal to talk about that Sonic X story that he missed out on with the chows and everything.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think we're done. At least I'm tired. Yeah, anyone else has a project they want to mention they're working on?
Well, I can quickly plug in, like, hey, here's a new episode of Forgotten Media that's been released, where I get to talk about a comic adaptation of Disney's Snow White. I would say that it's better than the live-action remake, but I didn't bother seeing it, so I can't say. It's still a good read, though. And it's a short episode, so it won't take too much of your time.
Only
I'm
8
working on a
minutes.
comic series, but I can't reveal too much about it at the moment, so that's all I'll say.
Ooh, mystery.
Mystery.
How
Excellent.
mysterious.
Alrighty. Guess we'll hear in the
yeah.
future. Euan, you working on something?
No, but I did upload a video to YouTube. It was basically just me reviewing the game's scrap mechanic.
Yeah, what made you suddenly decide to do that?
It was just for a contest, so I thought I might as well use that opportunity just to give my reviewing skills another crack, and just see how well I do. But not holding my breath. But hey, at least I finally made something after a long while, because even someone left a comment on the video saying he's back, almost like Agent Stone in a way.
He's back. Yeah.
Is it a competition we can vote, or is it up to the...
No, it's something. No, it's something that like selected judges have to, check through, because they've got to obviously just see like which do they. Not only does it have to be decent, but also it's got to have like all the rules implemented. In this case, I had to throw in a supposed to put in a screenshot of like a sprite of Luigi pulling the middle finger out at everyone, but I decided just to actually build a model of it in scrap mechanic with a fake out, of course.
Of course. Alrighty, well, good luck everyone with your projects. And I also need to finish some animations quickly. Oh well. But yeah, I guess that's the stream for today, so thank you for joining us. Especially you, Timba, for taking Elise's spot, I suppose. And see you all.
Thank you for having me.
Sure.
Yeah.
Good to be back.
Welcome anytime.
Yep.
Indeed.
Yep.
See you all in
Yep,
2
yep.
weeks again. Yip. Like the Muppets would say, or some Muppets.
Yeah.
Yip.
And I can already tell next stream is going to be interesting for the next couple of Sonic X comics we'll be doing.
Yeah, good episodes. Good.
Yeah, they're interesting ones. So, well, to not give too much away, one's going to feature a character that I feel like Salah might find interesting. And then the next issue are the first and only milestone in Sonic X. Yeah, we'll get to see more of the anti-Sonic X group up to their shenanigans.
Nice.
Oh yeah. And of
Sounds
course-
good.
But yeah, in terms of adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, it's going to be Tails focused, because 2 of the stories seem to revolve mainly around him.
Ah, nice.
Oh, we got a
Best
question. Before the stream ends, I gotta ask, are your Twitter DMs closed for all, or just for non-followers? Just wondering. Oh, he's asking Rhino, sorry.
Oh no,
It's
just asking Rhino.
Oh, he's not asking us.
okay.
Alright, never mind, sorry. Didn't read that correctly.
Well, good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Yep, goodbye.
Cheerio. Have a good Easter.
Yeah.
Oh, no, Easter.
Happy Easter.
Yeah.
I have Easter's coming up, yeah.
Yes, next week.
On Luke's
Chocolates.
birthday.
Hey.
Yeah. I'm gonna be 39. Ugh.
39. And thus he'll be known as Luke the Bunny.
Better than an elephant. Or worse. No, an elephant is awesome.
Happy Easter, everyone.
Happy Easter
Yep.
indeed.
Bye.
Toodaloo.
Oh no.
Yeah, I think that'll do it, actually.
It's a new one.
Yeah, that's a new one.
I should have used that one last time.
Funny enough, I was actually thinking about like